I'm feeling cleaner than I ever would be. It's cooler than Antarctica's weather would be. Damn, I think my swagger is a weapon to me. And dudes don't count you off the record to me. So don't be stepping to me, trying to shake my hand. I'm already the man, ain't trying to make your band. I feel the fact that I'm real, just make them mad. I be smoking helium to inflate my swerve. I'm fact that I'm real, just make them mad. I be smoking helium to inflate my swerve. I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every lady wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. 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 You're not really seeing me, dog. Real talk. You feeling whacker than you ever would be. In mind, you think.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, y'all. Tonight, we're going to have some real conversations. We're going to talk about some things tonight. One, I'm going to talk about Big Burrell, Kim Burrell. I'm going to talk about Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm going to talk about some things that are very serious when it comes down to the community of us as Black people. For some of us that are in the LGBT community, some things that are just very important to me. This is a very serious topic, and I think that it's very important to have a conversation about it. And so I definitely want to get into with my tribe because we talk about real things over here, and it's important. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's first take care of the business of this channel. If you enjoy my tribe, please stay on my site, go ahead and subscribe. Turn on your notifications, make sure you turn them on. Also, you notified every time I go live. When you turn on your notifications, make sure them on. Also, you get notified every time I go live. And let's go.
I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair.
All right, and I think back because I ain't really going nowhere, but it just happened like that. So I'm back. Let's go ahead and shout out everybody. What's going on, Chi-Town Nigerian girl? First of all, let me go ahead and pin this. Hold on.
I'll make this ad quick, so you can go get 20.
Excuse that ad. Let me go ahead and pin this real quick. All right. She says, welcome to the home of the SoDebNair tribe. And she says, SoDebNair, the SoDebNair tribe. Please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button and make sure you ring that notification bell so that you won't miss out on anything coming from the tribe. Now, y'all, people have not been getting notifications because I don't go live a lot anymore. I'm working on that. So a lot of people, when I do go live, they don't get notifications. So make sure that you do pay attention to what's going on over here so you make sure that you get notified every time I go live. What is going on? Protect my energy. What's going on, Winnie? What's going on, Cocktails with Lisa? Who else is here? What's going on, Jennifer? What's going on, Just Simply? What's going on, BJ? Okay. What's going on with everybody that's going on into the chat? I'm gonna say what's up to everybody who's on their way. Y'all, there are some very important things that are going on right now, and I just feel like we have to talk about it. What's going on, Shay B? Jennifer said this was the first time I've got a notification in a long time, even when you are live. Yes. Chi-Town was telling me today that I told her I was going live. She said she didn't even get notifications. So I know the algorithm is off, I'm not really mad about it because I know people come on late. Some people just don't ever get notifications, so they don't even know that I'm here anymore. So I'm working on going live more so that people can get notified that I'm live. I want to start this live off with Kim Burrell. Now, I want to ask a question in the chat. I see there's 10 people here right now. And I was over on Chef Don Don's channel the other day. Put a 1 in the chat if you know a Kim Burrell song. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. Put a 1 in the chat if you know a Kim Burrell song. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't know one. And I'm gonna do my intro one more time. I think it's 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds.
I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Everyone that get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Sound cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair.
Okay. So I'm seeing that there's Jennifer. Oh, wait, let me go back so I can actually pull these up. So Jennifer, if you don't know one, so Jennifer doesn't know one, Shay doesn't know one, BJ doesn't know one, Winnie doesn't know one. I know that Kim Burrell has an amazing voice, but I don't know a Kim Burrell song. I don't know one. And yes, BJ, I love Chef Donna. Yes, amazing channel, y'all. If y'all have not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe to his channel. An amazing channel. I just started going over the other day. It's amazing. Thank you, Lamar. What's going on, Lamar? Thank you for that. And Sunshine said, don't know the lady other than the mess in the blog strong number 2. Yes, so nobody really knows a Kim Burrell song. So it was just really interesting to me that people don't even know any of her music. For us to even be concerned about her. So as you guys know, like earlier, like a few years ago, she did a LGBT thing where she was saying that you have a gay LGBT spirit or something like that. And the gays were mad. One, it was because a lot of them were working with her. And it didn't make sense. It was just like, well, like, this is like career suicide to me. But she was hands down ready to do it, and it didn't make sense to me. Hasn't she said? She has. I don't know. That's what we're talking about now. She said so many bad things about like, what's going on, Miss Bernice? Kim Burrell is a bully. She's very much so a bully. What's going on, Miss Bernice? Yeah, I love seeing you here. Again, I was at about the other day. I'm so glad I see you again 2 times in a row. I love you, Miss Bernice. But the thing is that it's weird because like when she was going off on the people, she was saying that y'all didn't give me no awards and nothing like this. And to go back and look at like nobody even know what song you made, girl. So it makes sense that you haven't had no awards because nobody knows what music you made, right? So she's going off on Yolanda Adams, right? She said that she wished that Yolanda Adams would have what's going on, Nola Reeds? Auntie Bernice, I miss you. What's going on, Nola Reeds? She said that she wished that Yolanda Adams would have gave her the heads up, basically. And in my mind, I'm saying, well, did you give her the heads up saying you're going to commit career suicide to me? Like, why does Yolanda need to call you? Well, like, when are you going to call Yolanda and tell her that you're going to commit suicide on your career? And I know that word is bad on the channels or whatever. Hopefully they don't flag my channel, whatever. But career aside, it's not a great thing. Like, could you imagine her calling Yolanda saying, I'm about to say something about the gays, and I know you may not like it, and I don't know what you're going to do, but I just want to let you know that I'm about to do. She never called Yolanda and said that. So why would Yolanda call you for this? Like, I don't understand. Jealousy. Yolanda is a global superstar and gets invited to the White House to sing. Kim Burrell, I'm gonna say Big Burrell is black church famous. She's famous because of Whitney Houston. Okay, let's be all the way correct. She feels like she's famous because of Whitney Houston, because of her runs and her riffs. In reality, people liked her because the runs and the riffs are cute. But what song changed your life? Let's put a 1 in the chat if her song changed your life? Let's put a 2 in the chat if it is it hasn't. A 1 in the chat if her songs have changed your life. 2 in the chat if they have, if girl, I don't know. Because I don't know. Okay. Now, are we getting that too? We getting that too. What's going on, DV? Winnie got a 2. BJ got a 2. And Nola got a 2. And that's the sad part. Like nobody knows her music. She's like almost like an Azalea Banks. Like we don't even know you from your music. We don't even hear your controversy. Miss Bernice said Tamron Hall checked, and we want to get there, Miss Bernice. Tamron Hall checked her so good. I was so proud of Tamron. Me too. I'm gonna talk about Tamron too in a minute. Two, I don't know any so oblivious. It ain't changed my life at all. Okay. What's going on, my boo? Two, and still don't know the lady. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Nobody knows this lady. Now Yolanda have blessed my soul. Let me tell you something. Like I met Yolanda Adams. She's not a very nice person at all. Maybe has changed through the years because she has been around the gays a lot. When I met her, she wasn't very nice, but she's been very respectful. I can say that. So I don't really do Yolanda slander. I'm not a big fan of hers either. But I don't she when I met her in real life, she wasn't a very nice person. But she's never been slanderous. So I respect her for that. Okay. Kim Burrell, she's been in so much controversy from her live about the gays, the poor people, and now she's here trashing Yolanda Adams. It's like, well, girl, like, what do you like? What do you want? Where do we go from here? At what point do we like make amends? What point do we like actually have a conversation? Because she doubles down every time on the bad shit she says. So what do you want from us? None of us get it. Two and still don't know the lady. Okay, LOL. And Nola says, now Yolanda has blessed my soul. Yolanda has blessed my soul, but she just wasn't a nice person when I met her. But I let it go. I ain't. Remember when the contestant went off on her? Yes, on Sunday Best, the gay guy. Yes, he was like, Yolanda, I love you. And he said something I forgot what he said to Kim Burrell, but he read her rights. Oh, she's rude. Let her win. Let her win. I was a kid, loved her, and begged my mama to bring me to see her. She never even looked up at me when I paid to get her autograph. Yolanda, not Big Bear. Yes, Big Bear. I call her Big Burrell, Big Burrell. But yes, Yolanda's not a nice person. She wasn't a nice person when I met her. I'm gonna say this was like almost like 10 years ago. Maybe things have changed, but Yolanda was not nice. But maybe things have changed. Big Burrell has never been nice, and I've never wanted to respect her ever. She was super rude on Sunday. Absolutely, she was. Absolutely, she was. DV said, "I haven't walked out of Kim's concert. I have walked out of Kim's concert. She just doesn't appear to be authentic at all, at all, at all. So absolutely not." Jennifer says she seems very self-centered, not like Christ at all, and she's not. And the thing is that that's what people say. Like this, is why we don't go to church. Which we have a lot of reasons why we don't go to church. But Kim Burrell makes it even worse for church people not want to go to church because she doesn't act Christ-like, if that's the thing. Because I mean, what is Christ like? Miss Bernice says, didn't she send out a memo to Yolanda before she did her hateful sermon? I'll wait. No, and that's my thing, Miss Bernice. She wanted Yolanda to send out a memo. But did you send a memo to Yolanda when you were about to create your bullshit? Never. So why would Yolanda even do that? What's going on, Vicky Black? What's going on, Candy R? And she said, what's going on, Hey SoDebNair and everyone. Not Big Burrell. That's her name, Big Burrell. Joshua. What's going on, Joshua? Birds of a feather, and they flock to mother. together, okay? And that's facts. Refrigerator back Burrell, okay? Big back refrigerator back Burrell. I mean, I'm down for all of it because this is a big back black B word. I'm gonna say that. Kim Burrell is no one I would ever follow when I want to follow Christ. And even though I have my own beliefs, like she doesn't represent Christ to me at all. Like under no circumstance. So, and like you keep coming back. Hold on. You keep coming back into the atmosphere and messing it up for yourself. So, like, who would trust you? They forget the people who made them successful. So sad, glad to see. So, what's going on, Big Sis Speaks? What's going on, boo? You looking good in that avatar pic, by the way. But yes, like so, she makes it worse for herself. And the thing is that she doesn't admit is that the gays made her look good, like her hair, her makeup, her wardrobe, and they all stopped when she did that. And so now she's suffering the consequences from that. And so she has to live with it. So, all right, big back, Burrell. Uh, don't say it. You was about to get in trouble. I was. Don't say it. Okay. What's going on in the candy shop? What's going on? Thank you. I love your avatar. It is so good. But so I wanted to get into that with Kim Burrell because real talk, like she's her worst enemy. And after all this time, you think that she would actually just get it, but she doesn't. She doesn't. Like she's just committing um, the side of suicide, and for no reason. And one day maybe she'll get it. We don't know. What Candy said, Mom told me she saw Big Back Burrell on Tamron Hall. She said she seems limited in education. Did not understand questions. I thought she was always rude and nasty. So rude and so nasty. Okay, so rude and so nasty. And she is, and that's the thing, and that's what the people that come from the church. The reason why they leave is people like Kim Burrell. You know, that's why a lot of us don't go to church anymore because we experience people like Kim Burrell in the church. And so she doesn't make it better coming back and then doubling down on the. They asked her, I think it was on Tamron Hall, and let's go on Tamron Hall real quick. Tamron Hall, I need you to get a better logo. Okay, you've had this show for so long. Sherry Shepherd have a better logo than you have. I want Tamron Hall to call me. I want to vet out some logo artist so we can change the narrative of what her logo looks like. I'm so sick of that Tamron Hall logo, y'all. It looks terrible. It looks like Windows 99 or 98. I need Tamron Hall to change that logo. I can't take you serious with that logo. But let's get back into Kim Burrell. Jennifer said, why does she have them glasses that cover her whole face? Because we don't want her face is so hideous, we can't even look at it. It's hideous. Oh, Shabby, you agree? It looks it's giving Windows 98. I hate it. And she has it. I mean, the show been around for too long to have that old ass looking logo. I'm sick of looking at it. That's why I don't watch it from the logo. Tamara looks gorgeous this season, though. I think she's got better glam. The glam needs to be more focused on that logo. Okay, Jennifer. Let's get into the logo. Let's change it. Let's get a better logo. Because yes, not Windows 90. It's given 90s Windows 98. I'm sick of looking at it. I can't take her serious. Because I'm looking at Windows 98 logos. And I need that to be changed. Like I just cannot look at that anymore in my life. It bothers me. As a graphic designer, as a website designer, I cannot look at Tamron Hall's logo another day looking that way. I feel like we need to start a hashtag like get that logo fixed. Okay. Tamron, I need you to get it fixed. Okay. And I think that's all that I have for this because Kim Burrell is just Kim Burrell. She's going to keep creating cytosol for her career, and it's just never going to work. Okay. And I posted her on this live with Jeffrey Dahmer because they're both homophobes. DV said Kim is entitled because she can sing. She forgets her voice is a gift from God. And you know, the fact that, and so I agree with this though, DV. I agree with this. She has a voice that is a gift from God. But if God gave you a gift and nobody can remember a song that you made, because we do know that the devil was the author of music. Was this God's gift? Let's just ponder on that for a minute. We know that Satan was the head musician, according to the Bible. If we're following that, was this a gift from God? Because the voice is amazing. It's amazing. It's an amazing voice. Was this a gift from God? Because everything that comes out of her mouth outside of that, is that a gift from God? Absolutely not. So I'm here with you, DV. But what God is she serving? Okay. Okay. Kim Burrell, I wish you the best. You have a good point. Yeah, okay. You know, DV. I'm just pointing out the facts here because I want to make sure that we are all on one accord when it comes down to this. Is that a gift from God? Could have been a gift from the devil to fool the parishioners. Beware of false okay. That's what I'm saying, you know, because I just don't know if that's the gift that God gave her. We can all beware of what does it say, of sheep's and wolves clothing, or wolves and sheep clothing. I'm sorry. Beware of that. And she has shown us that she is not of God. Now she may be worshiping another God, but is she worshiping the God that y'all or other people worship? We got to ask ourselves that. The devil can't give gifts like that. Well, the devil had the gift, the gift of music. That's in the Bible. We cannot deny that part. So that part, like literally, if you read the Bible, it actually tells you that that was his gift. He had an amazing voice. So we can't deny that, you know. I don't know if she's causing the chaos that Satan created, but she does have the gift that he did give. Okay, and let's just always be aware of that. BJ says, yes, that hair sucks on Tamron Hall. I agree. I like Tamron Hall. I want her to do better. I want her to have a lot more that's going on, but that logo it irritates me. I know that, but that gift came from God. She just a rotten person. All right, Joshua, whatever you say. I'm just telling you what I've read from the Bible, what I know. I know that was Satan's gift, or Lucifer's gift, whatever name you want to call him. That was his gift, and that's where he was leading to the people. So let's get into Jeffrey Dahmer. Now let's put a 1 in the chat if you've watched it, 2 in the chat if you did not watch it, 3 in the chat if you can't. A 1 in the chat if you watched it, a 2 in the chat if you have not, 3 in the chat if you're not doing it. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do the 30-second intro one more time for that.
I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Everyone that gets to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I not just mine. Yes, style cleaner than yours, so don't buy. Yes, I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair.
All right, so I'm saying when he says two, Jennifer says I'm trying to watch it right now. DV says two. Jennifer says two. I watched multiple documentaries though. I got rid of Netflix a long time ago. And BJ says two. So let me tell you guys. So I watched this documentary twice. I think I'm gonna watch it actually a third time. I watched it because one, I think that it's very important to understand how insensitive that the police are to Black people. Not only to Black people, but also LGBT Black people or LGBT people, period, as a whole. Okay. Um, when I watched it, I went down the rabbit hole, and shout out to Sherelle's World because I was over there today, and I've been wanting to talk about this with you guys, but I didn't know because I kept seeing all these mixed reviews about, oh, I only watched episode to one and the two and the three. I got the five and I can't watch it no more because I'm just so traumatized. The reality to me is this: we've watched slavery movies for years. Okay. And those people haven't been suing anybody. They may have been traumatized, but they also understood the lesson that needed to be learned from, okay, Tulsa. Now I'm gonna drop this link, girl. Don't come over here and start no mess. Give me a thumbs up before I drop it. I'm old. Jennifer says I'm old. I am pretty sure he got caught the year I came out. I think I was 9 years old when he came out, so I do know that part. Tulsa, give me a thumbs up so I can drop the link for you. All right, let's try it. Well, we've done this before. And I will say this, even before Tulsa comes up, when I was on Sherelle's World, I did say, think about this, when it comes to our trans people and our LGBT people, period, and the stands and how the police treat us. You know what I'm saying? So I really do want to hear Tulsa's perspective on this. This is why I'm dropping the link for Tulsa because I want to have a really good conversation about it. Okay, so Deb, thanks for making me feel even more right. But I want to, and like I've been saying, y'all, like I want to support Tulsa, but I want it to be realistic and I want it to be authentic. So I'm hoping I've dropped the link for Tulsa, and I'm hoping that this is going to be this time. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm doing. So I dropped the link for you, Tulsa. Let's see how this goes. But before she comes up here, I wanted to talk about this because I want to talk about police brutality, the Black Lives Matter movement and what people were saying that it was, because the reality of the Black Lives Matter movement wasn't because Black Lives Matter. It was because of police brutality. What's going on, Tulsa?
Hey, my brother, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
You know what? I won't complain. I really won't.
Okay.
And I'll start this off with can I pour into you?
Huh?
Can I pour into you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm so excited. It is like I said on Sherelle's World earlier, it's the end of the month and we're going into a new harvest. So I just I pray that we get prosperity, we get an abundance of favor, and we reach every goal that we say with our lips and write with our fingers.
Hmm.
And also connecting more.
Hmm.
I feel like the universe is really working because we have come a long way. And for us to be on the same panel, we know that the universe is working. So I want to acknowledge that.
Right. So have you watched this documentary?
You know what? I didn't have to watch it. It was disturbing.
Hmm.
When you talk about people being unalive by a man, you know, this started when he was a child.
Hmm.
And I feel like his parent or his dad didn't really um take the appropriate steps to get him the help that he needed,
Hmm.
because I feel like if he had acted on what happened as a child, with the animal bones and all that, I mean, that was a telltale sign, in my opinion.
Right. I
What
think
is your opinion?
I think what stands out to me the most, and I think that you can relate to this, is the fact that they were ignoring what was going on because it was a gay situation, right? When it comes down to our trans women, when it comes down to our gay men, when it comes down to anybody in the LGBTQIS plus community, they ignore it, right? And so when I watch it, like I think that my main thing when I watched it was to see how much that they don't give a fuck about us for real. Um, it made me feel like, I already have issues with, police, period. But it makes me understand more like why I don't trust them. Because watching that when Linda and her daughters when that boy came out, and nobody's talking about this, but when that boy came out, he Jeffrey had drilled a hole in that boy's head. Okay. And
Yeah.
the daughter said he has blood dripping out of his head. They ignored that. And that was my first sign of saying, you know what? Because Jeffrey was said, no, just my boyfriend. He's just drunk and he just does it all the time. They disregarded them because they were black women complaining about this man, this white man, who was murdering people. Like it brought tears to my eyes. And to think about what it looked like today when it comes down to our trans people or the people going to our apps like the Jacked and the Grinders, who are setting us up to unalive us at the same time. It's still happening.
Well, I had a friend, rest his soul, Michael Green. He was unalived in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hmm.
Um, and it was because, he was on that app and the wrong guy got a hold of him, came to his apartment and unalived him. And this was a gay man that was out. I mean, I grew up with this man. He was older than me, but I mean, he was a grown man, but he was like in his teens.
Hmm.
But he got unalived, and to see somebody that be on TV and they are looking for the person that unalived them is traumatizing.
Right.
It really is.
And that's very true. And it's just like watching it and realizing like they're not censored. They don't have any empathy or no, there's no like
No care in the world.
yeah, but it's there's a
Yeah,
word I want to there's a word I want to
they're
use.
just
There's no
um
like what is the word I want to use? It's like there's no basically like it's like there's like no emergency. There's no sense of emergency to like get like understand this or fix this. They don't care. And so that's why some people die. And it's like, I guess I've been watching like the stuff on YouTube from the court cases where the last guy who actually made it out of there, he wasn't even gay. Jeffrey Dahmer's tricked him into coming to his house because the guy, I guess he lost his job and he needed money and Jeffrey was going to pay him $100 to take nude photos. And they asked him, they was like, did you know it's for like gay stuff? He said, he didn't even know that part. And the fact that he said like he went through that entire situation, thinking about like I just couldn't imagine like thinking about how I'm gonna get out of this house. And I've actually been in a situation like this with someone where I'm thinking like, how do I get out of here because this nigga's crazy. Um,
yeah.
it was a black guy that I was with though, but it just brought back so much trauma for me, understanding that this still happens to this day.
Well, when we talk about trauma and violence, us as Black people, we don't get the justice that we deserve. We
Mhm.
don't get the same respect as if it was our white counterparts. They go missing or something tragically happened to them. They get the news station on their story, but it's like with us, we're just, oh, there's just another N word,
Right,
you know?
right. And I think that's my biggest issue. I like this comment that Joshua made. He said, I read a comment of some black men saying this is a gay issue, not a black men issue. But are we not black gay men? I mean, are we not black men? And this was going on during the whole thing when what Black Lives Matter. And this is why I always say, like, we have to remember that Black Lives Matter is not about Black Lives Mattering. That was about police brutality. It was not
Can
about
I
Black
help you out with this? So Deb, let's talk about the dudes that are, no offense, but some dudes that are gay for pay.
Right, right. Sosa,
Mm-hmm.
I have to use the bathroom real quick. Can I trust you to stay here for me for a second?
Oh yeah,
Not
I got
call
you.
Adam about Chatham.
I won't.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. So, you guys, so Deb is about to take a quick intermission. Make sure you are hitting the like, share, and subscribe button. Make sure you're telling a friend to tell a friend that we are having a uncomfortable conversation right now, and we need as much as people's input as possible. But my thing is, it's just saddening all the way around the board. For people just to unalive people and not really have any guilt in their heart. Um, it's disgusting. We just gotta pray for people, and we also have to just, stay out the way. We have to take those certain precautions. If you are dating, let somebody know, okay, you're going to this place, and always, share your location. I feel like this: if you're dating and you have a close friend and you have an iPhone, share your location with your friend until
Absolutely,
you make it
absolutely. I
back.
do it all the time. I do it all the time. Thank you so much, Tulsa.
Mhm.
Um, Let me tell you something. Because I travel a lot. My ex husband, I send my location every time that I leave because I need somebody to know where I'm at,
Mhm.
and I think it's very important. Um, but oh my god, that was amazing. So I I think this is why like I really be wanting to talk to you a lot because and like have conversations with you because there's so much that we can talk about when it comes down to our community. And this documentary just showed a lot because this wasn't about even trans people. This was about like a lot of gay people. Like there was people keep saying it was about black gay people, but it was other nationalities in this. This man
Well,
targeted a lot. And I know a lot of it was black men, but
but do you think that he would have had a fair chance in going up against another white male that he unalived? No, they would have held his feet to the fire. I feel like with it being black men, I mean, people they don't really acknowledge and respect black people anyway. And then we got
true,
to think about the ancestors, of
true,
those breeders of racists,
true,
the plantation masters.
true. But no, I'm just saying that one, like I don't want to disregard the other races that he did unalive. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Right. We want to acknowledge everybody. We don't want
everybody,
anybody to be left out. We acknowledge all ethnicities, races that
right?
were affected, and we want to sincerely apologize to you all. We weren't the plaintiffs or the suspects, but we want to apologize.
Now they may have not you know helped us because the majority of them were black people. But that's not all that he unalived, and that's my thing. Like I want to make sure that all of everybody was because the fact that that man went back. and I don't know what the nationality was of it was like the two brothers that the one that he almost unalived and the one that he didn't unalive. They weren't black.
I think
They were
they were Laotian immigrants.
okay. Yes,
And then there was some Asians, right?
there was some Asians as well. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like, and there was white people too. So it wasn't just black people. The majority were black people.
It was the gay
Yeah.
community. So what you're saying is like he targeted the gay community. He didn't care what color you were. If you were gay, you were on his radar and you were going out of this world.
Right.
I would say though that he did prefer black men because the majority of his victims were gay black men.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say this, Jennifer. I think that he preferred where he wouldn't get caught. And
That's very true as well.
Because even with those, what did you say that the guys were, the brothers?
They were Laotian immigrants, I believe.
Yeah, the Laotian guys. They were still in a atmosphere of poverty.
Yes.
So it was, to me, it was more of people who were of poverty, not just black people. And so,
or even people who were marginalized, period.
Right. And I think that at some point he was saying that people were like they were alone, like they were out by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember right, like his the Laotian boys, the parents were immigrants, obviously.
Yeah,
and I don't know for sure, but
no, the father, when the father gave his statement, he said that they moved here thinking they were going to live the American dream.
Yep.
And then his sons met Jeffrey Dahmer. So they weren't Americans at all.
Right. I think that Jeffrey Dahmer like endeared himself to the family, and that's how he got to be able to be that close to those boys. And he was just a disgusting human being, like I said. I think that he got caught like the year that I came out, and I know that even though he was caught, there was still like this, people were freaked out about it, like what if there was somebody else who was doing that. And I remember like whenever you're young, you kind of think that you're invincible. And I remember one time my roommates and I, one of my roommates, his boyfriend lived in Chicago. And so we used to go up to Chicago for the weekend all the time. And we had went out to the club and they were like, oh, I want to go home. And I was like, well, I'm not. And I ended up, get my little groove on and
you better get it.
Doing the swim. Were you doing the swim?
I was busy and did not, we didn't have cell phones like in the early 90s, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like, I was going to call them or whatever. And the next day, whenever I got back to like my friend's boyfriend's apartment, they were like freaked out.
Did you have pagers?
Not in the early 90s, no. We didn't have pagers until like mid 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. We just had landlines.
I guess what I'm saying is that when it comes down to race, I feel like that was the police department issue. I think his issue was that it didn't matter for him. Because the police, to me, the police let us die as black people.
Well, listen.
He didn't care what you
the police red, always
green, yellow, whatever. He didn't care.
Yeah, but listen, the police always let us down.
Hold on, he moved into a predominantly black community because he knew that they would not bother him.
Yeah,
I don't think that he cared what color you were. I think he thought that they were of poverty and that they would not bother him because that's what it was. Because we are not people who live in poverty. Black people are not people who live in poverty.
And let me piggyback off that while you're still on it. Of course, he moved to a black neighborhood because guess what? When we call the police in our neighborhoods, it takes them forever to get there. If we were in a Caucasian neighborhood or other ethnicity neighborhood, they would come right away.
Right.
So and that's actually exactly what happened with the 14-year-old boy that he unalived, because it was a black woman who called the police.
Right.
Because the boy escaped and they did not believe the black woman. They believed that this 14.
But the thing is, this is the part that bothered me the most. She said he has blood coming out of his head. Jeffrey had drilled a hole in that boy's head.
Yes.
But keep this out. Let me take y'all to another avenue. Listen.
They did not even look at that.
So, Deb, let me take you to a higher heights. when it comes to black women, we're at the end of the line. When it comes to trans women, we're at the end of the line. We don't get the service that other women get. You get what I'm saying?
But
And
you
this
know
is
what,
just
Tulsa? Let me tell you
black
this.
women in general, whether you're trans or not.
You're right.
We
Tulsa,
need to
you're right. You're
protect
right.
women
You're
and we
right.
need to protect our men.
You're
Men
right,
can be
Tulsa.
vandalized, men can be molested,
Hold
men
up.
can be all of
Tulsa,
that.
Tulsa, wait a minute. No.
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you something. No. I always say this. When it comes down to the totem pole, it is black men. They feel like they're at the top for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably at the bottom if we're really looking at it logistically. They're at the bottom,
They
but they want to
are.
be at the top because of how white men have treat them. Then it comes down to black women. Then it comes down to the LGBT community, and for
Look,
whatever.
listen, let's stay there right quick. Half of them people is within the community because some of those guys are on the DL and they are bisexual.
Right, right.
So
But we
they have
can't,
they have a
but we can't account them in that because they don't identify in that way. So what
right.
I'm saying is that when it comes to the totem pole,
Mm-hmm.
that's how black men look at the rest of us. Like we're below them, we are beneath them,
Oh yeah.
and
We're
we have to
this
we have to fight that
part
battle
of
all
those
the
shoes.
time. Because I think about when the what's the guy's name who died during COVID? What's his name?
What field was he in?
The black guy who got the police killed him in front of the store.
Oh, George Floyd.
George Floyd. When we were marching for George Floyd here in Atlanta, they were so mad that there was LGBT people out there. It was like, no, this is
Mm-hmm.
about black people. We were like, we're part of the black community as well. They didn't want to see trans people out there. They didn't want to see gay black people out there. They were so like unbothered by us being out. I mean, they were like, they didn't want us out
So
there.
bothered.
And it's like, the thing is like, at what point, and I always say this, as black people, we will never win because we are so divided. And I always talk about the
Mhm.
Willie Lynch law. And I know that some people say it's not real, it's real, whatever that means. But the basis of that is real to me because we are such a battle of light skin, dark skin, gay, straight. You have good hair, you have back hair, you cute, you ugly. We are so divided as black people
Well,
that we
listen,
cannot
I'm
come
going to cut you off
together.
so that. Shout out
Hold
to
on.
listen,
Wait,
but
hold on.
peep out Tokyo
Let me,
Tony and
hold
the rhetoric that
on.
she's spreading right now.
Hold on, Tosa. Let me finish. Because
Oh,
we're
okay.
so divided as black people, and yes, us as from the black men, we're not in that space. But from the top coming down, it doesn't help us in our fight for anything because we cannot come together and fight together as black people because we're divided.
Exactly. But look at
And it's
Tokyo
not us.
Tony. She's out here spewing trans hate. She's out here telling these people to if she was to run into a trans, she'll beat him. She wouldn't try to fight him because that's a man. She'll put something in a brain. I mean, just spewing this rhetoric, and it's like we already have men out here that deal with us, right? But
Right,
then it's like they have to hold up to society's values and how they look at them. And it's sad, but that's
right,
just how they have to navigate through life.
right,
But it's like it's sad because then they're out there with the people saying, I'm against hate trans, but they at trans house after 12 or at a gay
right.
man's house after
You want
12
to date them in private. You want to have sex with them in private.
in private
But
and
but
bash
then
them in
when it
public.
comes to your real life, then you don't. When it comes to reality, and people find out, then all of a sudden, like you want to trash
Yeah.
them. I've never been okay with that. Like I've never been okay with that because to me, it's like if you can fuck me in private, talk about me in public. Period.
But
You know
listen,
what I'm
so
saying?
Deb, it goes both ways
Amen.
because yeah, and it goes both ways, even for y'all. Like these guys out here, they may not be on the DL and they fuck God. They do guys, but they not gonna come out and say that. Some guys come out here, they F trans, but
That's
they're
why
not
I
gonna
don't
come out
deal.
and
That's
say
why I
that.
don't deal with no men who are DL. Period. Because I've been through that.
It's too much.
I posted on my Twitter page today. I said this was how I was the trade. I look very different. I look very. I mean, I was the
You was
trade.
giving tradey tradey.
Okay, but
Okay.
But my whole thing was growing up, I was like, if I ever get like and fall in love with a man, I'm coming out because I don't want to hide my partner, period. And so when me and my ex-husband got together, immediately the next person who asked me, I was like, yo, I'm gay. This is my man, like, period. And I never looked
So,
back and thought nothing bad about it. I was like, this is who I am.
While
so
we're
have you ever dated women?
Yes, I had 3 girlfriends. I was about
Okay,
to
so
marry.
listen.
My last girlfriend, I was going to marry her.
Oh wow. So listen, Jennifer, go ahead with your question because I've been engaging. I can hold my question until you're done.
I was just going to say, while we were on the term trade, the actual term of trade comes from, it was technically straight men who did things with gay men for money, for a place to stay, for
Mhm.
whatever reason. It was a trade. That's why they were called trade.
Gay
And
for pay.
so, yeah,
And that's
yeah.
the other type of word, but instead of saying gay for pay
And I
is
might have
trade.
done those things.
Right.
Well, you do you, boo.
Listen, well, you ain't doing it today.
But at the same time, you're not straight, so it's
Right.
different.
I
I
mean,
mean,
at that time though, like I didn't want to identify myself as gay because my mom was a pastor.
So he was
And
straight, child.
yeah, I was like, I was gay for pay, like I was. Um, but I also knew that I was really attracted to men since I was in kindergarten. But I just knew it wasn't good based off of what the Bible was taught to me. So I never thought that I would ever be in a relationship with a man. When me
Did
and my
did Kim Burrell get in your ear?
No, it was my mom,
Oh,
and no, my mom. Like, I love my mother, and like we have, like we're in such a great space now. Like we respect each other with our beliefs.
yeah.
But at the time, like I just knew what she believed about gay people, and I did not want to be that because I knew that it was bad
Well,
to her.
listen, let's stop right there, so Deb, because I think that's an important part. When you're in that moment and you want to tell your mother, what
Mhm.
are those feelings in that moment? Is it an anxiety? Is it, oh my gosh, she's gonna bash me? Is she not gonna love me? Let the people know because I feel like that's
I thought
important.
I was going to lose my whole family. Like to be honest, like I didn't. I thought that I was going to lose everyone, and not to, and to add insult to injury to insult. I was molested as a kid. So I didn't want people to think that because of that I was gay because I knew that I was gay before that happened to me.
Hmm. And sorry that
So,
that happened to you.
yeah, I talk about it all the time. And shout out to Chef Don because he talked about today. He had an amazing live today. If y'all don't know what his channel is, if Shy Town is in here, please drop his link into my chat. He had an amazing conversation about him going through it today, and I want to talk about it because
Get it
one
off.
thing,
We here, we
what I
love
was
you. We care about you. Go ahead and get it off
what
your
I would say
chest.
is this: I went through a lot of therapy through my life.
Hmm.
My mom, my family never knew this. I went through a lot of therapy in my life because I knew what I went through as a kid. I knew it was wrong, and I also went along with it because what I was told was I was going to lose my mother. My mom was my best friend. I love my mom to the end of this earth,
Hmm.
and I never wanted to lose her. So what I was told was if I told what happened to me, I would lose her.
Mm.
So it
So you
terrified
were threatened. So you pretty
yeah.
much, if you told, then your mother life was gonna be gone, and you
Well,
as a child.
it wasn't her life. It would be they would take me from my mother.
Oh, so they would kidnap you?
No, what they were saying, like if I told what happened to me, that they would take me from my mom because my mom was basically not protecting me.
Oh, okay, okay. So they were gonna use like a blackmail situation, kind of like
Right,
maybe if she was, in a point in time in her life that she wasn't really focused, and they were gonna use that against her.
right.
And
Oh,
that's what abusers do, period. They use power. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's about control. So
Well,
yeah.
let's see this. What was said, help me understand the trans community. Like, why do some identify as a woman, but then out men who sleep with them? I
Well,
guess
this
both
is
of you
the
can answer
thing. I guess I can speak to that. I feel like some women like let's just take Shauna Brooks for example, because she's one of my good girlfriends, and when it came to
What about like a
Benzino,
what is the one that's on Bad Girls Club?
that's Sydney Star.
Sydney Star. Like, what about Sydney Star? Like, let's go from that perspective.
Okay, so from Sydney Star's perspective, I feel like when she did it,
Hmm.
Sydney Star did it for publicity.
Hmm.
It's like I want to get in the game, and at that point, it was like by any means necessary, and she unfortunately threw Chingy under the bus,
Now let
and
me ask you this.
um,
Let me ask you this. So, as a trans woman, do you feel like that was okay?
I feel like it was okay, and I feel like it was justified because she did come out and clear his name. And I know it's after the fact, but it takes a real person to stand up to their wrongdoings and accept accountability.
So let me
Let
ask
me.
you this. So let me ask you this, Tosa. I'm sorry, Jennifer. Give me 1 second. So
Okay.
let me ask you this, Tosa. So I know for me and my friends that we do protect trans women, right?
Hmm.
So when it comes to this type of situation, um,
I don't tell. I'm just gonna be honest.
no,
I'm gonna tell you like this.
I'm not saying that
Listen,
you do. I'm
I'm
just
gonna
saying
keep it 1,000 with you.
right.
I've been with a very popular basketball player that everybody knows. But will I open up my mouth and say something? No.
I've been with some men that are very popular, and that's a celebrity where I never would say anything about it, like say names. But
Exactly.
my
Yeah.
thing is this: when it comes down
I
to
mean,
it, this is my question.
and
When it
actually, I
comes
was
down
with
to it, hold on, wait, because I want you to answer
him
this for me.
and his brother, but at different
Tulsa,
times.
Tulsa, Tulsa, give me a second. I
Oh,
want you to
sorry.
answer this question for me.
Sorry.
When it comes down to it, isn't your
Okay.
life more important than exposing people? Isn't the
Boy,
reputation
yeah. This is
isn't
my
the,
thing.
isn't the representation of a trans person better than exposing people? Because we've all been in our spaces. I mean, not all of us, but a lot of us have been in spaces where we cannot be out, right? But like once we get to our freedom point, like it is an amazing space. But we
Right.
also understand the part where you cannot be free.
Yes. Can I just say something about outing? I do not think that anybody should be outed before they are ready unless they're someone who
Absolutely.
is doing harm to the community.
Absolutely.
If they are doing harm to the community, even like a politician who
Right.
is, trying to pass laws that are anti-LGBTQ, if somebody outs them, I do not care. If they are committing violence against trans women, against trans men, against gay men, against lesbian women, but they are doing harmful things to the community, I have no problem with them being outed.
But I think that like gay men, like it's not like we're not a lot of gay men are not doing it as much as like our trans people are doing it, which I guess I kind of understand it a little bit, but I don't
Well, no, no,
understand
no.
it.
Let's take it back because
Hold on,
there was a gay
wait.
man.
So
Oh,
here's
okay.
here's what I'm saying. I
Okay.
do understand a little bit why trans women do it, but because like nobody wants to be a secret. Like that's the worst place to be in, period. So I do understand it a little bit, but I think that my life is
Well,
more important
listen,
than
let's talk
exposing,
about finances. What if he didn't pay her?
paying
Well,
her
who
for
said that
what?
she was a sex worker?
Was she a sex
Shauna
worker?
Brooks is a known sex worker.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. I didn't know that. I don't know that.
Yeah, Shauna
Still, I
Brooks is
don't
a
I don't
known.
think so. I mean, I think
Yeah, no, you ain't gotta think. I'm gonna tell you right here. Shauna Brooks, if you go, she's very open and she's very honest. She's an open book. She's told you about her life struggles and her being indicted on body law that was in Virginia. She got incriminated on a body law. So if you don't know what the body law is, go ahead and look that up. But she got arrested in Virginia
Well,
and she's very
tell us,
open with it.
tell us,
yeah,
what you
tell us what that is.
I'm not
educate
sure
us, educate us.
because I just don't know what that is. But she said there was a body law. I just follow her story and I follow I follow trans women. I mean, those are my sisters, and I follow their journey. I may not agree with everything that they do,
Let
but
me let me ask you this: do you feel like it's hard for other people, not even like straight people, but other people from the LGBT? And I will say this: I'm going to give you a positive before I give a negative. I know it's hard to support gay men a lot of times, right? Do you
mhm.
think that it's hard to support trans women as well?
Is it hard to support trans
Yeah,
women?
hey, Sebastian. I'm sorry. I just saw that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is it hard to support trans women?
Yeah. Because and I'm gonna tell you,
No, you just simply support them like you support everybody else.
but
Don't sit up there and dissect, their transition and things like that. Just, if they identify as a woman, acknowledge them and respect them and treat them as you would treat a woman.
Okay, so I think that I
I
think
don't
that
think that hold on, Jennifer. I don't think that that's that easy. And I would say this because it's hard to support lesbians for gay men sometimes because you don't know like what they want to be called. You don't know a lot of things. And I always say this. I say I know about the G in the alphabet of the things that's going on with the LGBTQI community. I don't know anything else because I'm just a gay man. I don't experience any of the other letters, and I don't know the struggle
Why
of
is that?
because I'm not trans and I'm not a lesbian. I've been to lesbian parties where I feel out of place because I realized that they feel like I'm kind of competition because I'm there with them. Like I don't even want no vagina, so but they feel like I'm there and there's a possibility I might get some vagina and I don't want it. But that's what it is. There's some masculine lesbian women who feel like they compete with me because I'm a masculine a man, and I'm not competing with you. So, and this is before I even get to trans people. And so then you go to
Trans
trans.
women
No, I'm
or
talking about
trans men?
trans people, like trans men and women
Okay.
and trans people. So then you get to trans people, and then this is like, well, now the gay men are starting to like trans. Is it trans men? Is it trans men that have vaginas?
yeah, trans
Yeah.
men.
Okay, so now they're having sex with the trans men. So the gay men are like having with trans women. I mean trans men. So they're liking it. Is this competition for me?
Trans
Because
women also date trans men as well.
but
FYI.
so okay, so because my mind is like going everywhere. I like for me like I don't want a representation of a woman anywhere. And I love women, but I just don't want like sexually. I can do it, but I also know now,
And
like
that's just your preference, but there's a lot of men out there that do.
no, absolutely, like that's very true. But I'm saying like now, like when it comes down to sex, like it's competition, right?
No.
I don't know that
I
that's
don't
the
I don't
case.
see myself in competition, me being a trans woman. I don't see myself being in competition with anybody because first of all, um, I am a trophy. I am the catch. And then I'm married also. So I've had my run, I've had my fair share of being a single woman
Mhm.
and you know, I enjoyed it, but
Walk me through through your situation because you're married, right?
mhm,
So when you guys met, like what was that like?
it was amazing. We met in March
Hmm.
and we were married by September.
Was there any hesitation? Like what was it like? I want to know like the story. Like what was the love story?
So the love story was, we hooked up and
Hooked up and
a
hooked up
girl
and
has
y'all
to check out she has to do a
wait,
test drive.
hold on, wait. So,
Huh?
so hooked up and y'all had sex, or like hooked up as like I went on a date?
I mean, listen here. A girl has to test drive the car to see if the car is right for her, right?
Okay.
Okay. And the
Okay.
car was right. The car was right. And
Was
he
it a big
started,
body Benz? Like, what was it?
listen here, it was a motherfucking ocean. And he had his motherfucking
Okay.
lifesaver on. Okay. He had his lifesaver on. He was good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
And
love this part of you, Tosa. I'm just telling you right now, I love this part of you.
period.
Can I
Well,
can I
listen.
just can I say something so that we can go back before this kind of gets like lost?
Yes.
Um, I think that what was said, the person who was in the chat, I think
Mhm.
that their point was, if a trans woman identifies as a woman, then why would the trans woman out a man for sleeping with them? Because there really should be nothing
A
to out,
woman. We're a woman.
because they were sleeping with a woman. And I think that that's what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
And so I can understand that, you
And
know.
let's pinpoint this here because I want to go back to what we were talking about, but this was you're right. But this was what we were talking about. I'm sorry. I got interested in the whole story, but I do like this is very true because to me, it's like I've been around where you cannot be, right? As a gay man, a heterosexual man, a bisexual man, like you cannot be. But you try to do things behind the scenes, but then there's somebody's like, we got to talk about it. We got to talk to somebody. We got to say it out loud.
So, Deb, can I help you out right quick?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so keep this out. It was 3 words that was put into people's brains to keep us trapped, to keep us against each other. And those
Mhm,
3 words were fear, envy, and distrust.
mhm.
We need to fear our brothers and sisters. We need to envy our brothers and sisters, and we need to distrust them. If we do all that, how the fuck can we get along? We can't. So we
But
gotta.
wait, that's not what Jennifer was talking about. What was said was
Oh, no,
talking.
no, no, no. No, I'm
So
giving.
let's
I'm not
answer
saying
let's answer that first before we get to what you're
what
saying.
Jenny said.
Right, Jennifer?
What?
Jenny, what
Let's
you
get
say?
to what you were saying first because I see where you're going, Tosa. But let's
Okay.
answer what Jennifer was saying
Yeah,
first.
what I was saying is that I thought that the person in the chat was saying, if you identify as a woman, then why would you out a man? Because there's nothing to out a man for. If you identify as a woman, then what you're saying is that
Because
he's sleeping with a woman, so
as
there's
a
nothing
woman.
to out him for.
They
So
don't
listen, let me help you out on
they
that.
don't
Talk.
identify trans people
So
as
that's
women.
just like a woman out in her baby daddy, like, oh, this dude is a deadbeat. My
Yeah.
thing is, okay, this like let's just say I outed somebody and I say, oh, this dude is a deadbeat. He don't, he want to be in my life, and then he don't want to do right by me. Then he don't want to do right by his baby mama. He's a deadbeat. That part I
But that's
get,
different.
but just
That's
coming out and saying, oh, this man is such and such. I mean, ma'am, are you not securing yourself? Because if you're doing that, I mean, you're making it like it's a problem that he slept with you. You get what I'm saying, Jen?
Yeah, but at the same time, if there's a child involved, that's if he's just a deadbeat, then that's one thing. If
Yeah,
it's
but I'm not
if
going to
you're
out him
outing,
just because
if
he slept with a trans woman. Because what is that saying about me? Is it saying it's saying that, oh, this is something bad? Why would you do that? Does that make sense? Can you communicate that to the crowd of my thoughts?
no,
No, what you're saying makes sense.
Okay.
It does make sense. Because what people don't understand, hold on, and thank you what was said. One was said, thank you for the super chat. No, ma'am, Tosa, not the same. Cut the BS. Oh, cut the BS.
What part? Tell her what was said. Let me know which part because I want to get it right, and that's why we're here tonight so we can educate each other.
Absolutely.
So we
Because
don't get
let's
it wrong.
actually get into education.
Yeah, this is a great social. I'm loving it.
And
Hey, so then,
I want to reiterate that Tosa, I really enjoyed like this with you.
yeah.
Like
Listen, this is what I'm about.
this is not a whole bad thing. Like we're having a conversation, and
Uh-huh.
Jennifer's up here as well. Like we're not even having a bad time right now. I enjoy this.
Listen here. I feel like this, and no
Jennifer, do you
shade.
feel the same way?
But listen, no shade, Jennifer
Hold on,
and
wait.
Sierra.
Jennifer, do
I
you feel
feel
the
like
same way?
when a women listen, I'm gonna say this.
Oh,
When a
oh,
women
wait. Jennifer, do you feel the same way?
I just feel like I'm up here to talk about issues about the community. That doesn't mean that we don't have problems in our own community, that doesn't mean that just with any community that we all get along or that we co-sign on everything that somebody does in the community. I'm just up here to talk about the community. We were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. That's what I got up here to talk about, and I'm glad that the conversation is calm. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay,
Well, let's just say this.
That's all that I want you to the last.
Well,
part.
let's just say this. Let's address the elephant in the room. Jennifer, I will start this off with, if I offended you, I want to apologize. And I hope that we can engage and move forward with these conversations, because I feel like this part wins. And I feel like what I was going to say earlier was, when you have different energies in a group, sometimes things can go left. I'm a chill individual, but you would just have to meet me, visit with me, come on my channel on a one-on-one basis to see where I am in my life, because I know
But
there's
I've done that.
Well,
But
listen,
I've
wait,
done that.
wait. I know there's a lot of stereotypes, and I
Well,
encountered
let's just be
a.
real, Tulsa.
Can
Let's
I
be
just no?
real.
So debonair, I'm almost there. I
Okay,
encountered a traumatic situation in my life, and I didn't know how that was going to make me feel. But
right.
I do want to say this: for those that I did hurt, I do want to apologize, because I'm not too big to come around and say, "Hey, I offended you. Oh, I hurt you. I want to apologize," because that's not who I am. The space that I was in
Well, we
and the
don't
mind
know
frame that I
that.
was in,
We
I
don't know
can't
that.
apologize about that, because that was
Tulsa,
trauma.
Tulsa.
But I do want to say that I want
We
to
don't know
go
that
in the
last
right
part.
direction.
We don't know
Huh?
that last part.
Oh, sorry. I said I do want to go in the right direction.
No, I didn't say I didn't hear. I said we don't know that last part because we don't know that.
Yeah.
That's not who you are. But what I will say is that today you have been like, I enjoy talking to you today. Like you have, this has been great. And
You know,
this is the stuff that I like when I do go on lives. Is this with AT2? When I talk about you, I said I
yeah.
want to make sure that we're having like um informational conversations when it comes down to our community, when it comes to trans people into the LGBTQI community, period.
And you know
Because
what? I'm glad you referenced him. So definitely.
let me finish what I'm saying though.
Okay.
When
Go
it
ahead.
comes down to you, because one, when I first met you, I did not even know you. And there was so
And
so
that's
much
true.
bad stuff. There was so bad stuff. I'm like, I don't even
Uh
know her to even be having these type of conversations. But it was
huh.
just it was so combative and it was so like going against me, stuff like this.
Yeah.
Even and there was something I wanted to say to you, and I did not remember to say this when we were on Cup Channel.
Uh huh.
When we did the parody of you, I had to go back to this. When we did the parody of you, when I did my parody of you, a lot of it was making fun of me. It wasn't just you. And I was like, I don't even understand why she doesn't even see this part. Because when I did the mom approved thing, it was because that lady said that I call her my mom. And
Understand.
I think that you thought that because of the parody, I'm like, well, it was fun because one, I don't really put on wigs and shit, but it was fun. It was funny to me. Like if you actually go back and look at it, there's fun
I
in
didn't.
it. Like it was
I
stuff
didn't.
that
Listen, I
listen,
didn't find
wait,
anything.
don't interrupt me what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you go back and look at it, you said that the person that was in the chat on Princess's chat, because people keep saying that it was on Nosy chat, it was on Princess's channel. But when it happened, um, it was a lot of me and you because I didn't know you at the time. And you were like, oh yeah, you were over on the channel. I was like, when you were over, I don't even know that you were there. But it was fun to me because I was like, you let me put on the wig. Let's say I'm Tosa, this and like she reads, so it's reading things. Like if you go back and watch it, like it was just fun. It was not like salacious. It wasn't no bad things about you because I didn't know nothing bad to say about you. But I thought like it was like, oh, Tosa says she reads people, so let me just go down the thing about reading. It was fun. It was never nothing salacious towards you.
Let me. Okay. So can I speak now? Okay, so I totally get that 100%. But what I wanted to say is there was nothing funny about the commentary. You put it on a wig and acting like you were whatever. That was not cool at all, only because being a trans and living in this lifestyle and living this
But
life.
before you go farther than that, did you see me put on a wig before that?
I never knew you.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't say that me putting on a wig wasn't fun or whatever because I had wigs on before that. Like if you go to my TikTok, you can see that. I didn't put on wigs because of Tulsa. It wasn't because of that. I just had wigs in my house.
Well, let me just say this.
I put on wigs because I went to Mardi Gras. So
Okay.
those were the wigs came from. It wasn't because of you. But
So
I
listen,
had them. So I was like, oh, let me put them on. Let's just have fun, whatever. I never trashed you. Ever. I never said nothing bad about you.
so let me put this out.
I made fun of a situation to make light of a situation.
Made fun of a situation.
Because, hold on, wait, let me hear what I'm saying. Because someone who I did not know was talking about me and I did not even know you. So that's why I did it. I was like, I ain't gonna go hard on her because I don't even know her. But I also know that she's a trans woman and I don't want to do that because I respect my trans women. So let me just give the lightness of this. Let's have a little bit of fun. What I did was never a general situation because if it was, it would have been bad. I'm gonna tell you that I would have really taken you to hell for what I would have done had I been mad at you, but I didn't know you enough to be mad at you.
Okay, well, your female counterpart might be on her way to hell because I feel like you opened it up in the beginning because Nosy Hole has recently done a video about me and she did some of the particular. But listen, but hold on. If we're gonna talk about the facts and everybody that was around,
you want me and you, not Nosy.
We are, but if you want to talk about the whole situation because you brought Monica in it, so if you brought Monica in it, I should be able to.
The funeral was not about Nosy; it was about you and Princess.
But listen, what you just said was the mother was about the other lady, right? So if you brought the other lady in, let me bring her in. What I was going to say was when you introduced that to a lot of people.
I said that for me.
But hear me out. You open that door up for other people to take advantage of that. And it's recently been done since I've been attacked. But my thing is, you and I, we had apologized, we had gotten over it. And really, to be honest, Deb, if we can just bury this and we don't have to revisit it anymore.
The way that we bury this, though, is for you to listen to what I'm saying. I never had an issue.
Yeah, it's always listen to what you say.
No, because every time that we've been on a live together, I've let you talk the entire time. I've never even interrupted you. So I'm asking you, I'm not even demanding, I'm asking for you to hear me out. When it comes down to you, when it came down to that day, it was never a salacious thing towards you because I didn't even know you. And if you go back and listen to what I'm saying, if you go back and look at it, I don't even know who she is, so I don't know. When you said that you pull up Princess, that was my thing. That's why I kept saying when I did my
listen. Now you're not gonna say that we can't pull it. We're not gonna bring up other people when they're not here to defend themselves. I'm not talking about the woman and she's not here.
You can't hear what I'm saying.
Listen, but respectfully, I'm not talking about that woman and she's not here. Do not bring her name.
I'm talking about me.
But listen, if she's not here to defend herself, let's not talk about her.
I'm talking about me.
Well, listen, I'm gonna have to drop. Listen, I'm gonna drop down because I don't talk about people when they're not here.
You don't have to.
Okay, so don't bring her up unless she's here.
I'm talking about me, Tulsa. I'm talking about me. The funny part for me was the pull-up thing. So I thought pull-up.
Listen, I'm not. Listen, so Deb, I really appreciate the engagement. I've asked you several times that we are not going to go there. We're not going to bring up other people. You asked me not to bring in other people. You brought up Monica. You're bringing up Princess. And I feel like this is very unfair.
I brought up me. Tulsa,
listen,
me.
No, listen.
Tulsa, this is the problem. You don't never listen.
Jennifer,
you don't
shut
listen.
the fuck up. Jennifer,
It's
Girl,
shut
you
about
the
shut
me.
the
fuck
I'm
up.
fuck
telling you,
up.
it's not
This
about
has nothing to
about
do with
me.
you. You always want to put your nose in the white and the black people's business.
No,
That's
Bitch,
Tulsa,
the
fuck
now
you.
you're
that's the
wrong. Now
problem
you're
that I
wrong.
have with him. If he
Tulsa,
would
you're
have stayed,
wrong.
listen, this was between me and you.
Tulsa, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're
Listen,
wrong.
I'll be wrong. I'll be wrong. But that
Because what
white
I'm
dude
telling you is
needs to
that it
leave
was
me
about
alone.
nothing else that you're talking
I ain't
about.
said
It
nothing
was
to that
about
white dude.
me. It was about me.
This was about
It
me
had
and
nothing to do with
you.
everybody else. It
Tell
was
your
about
white
me.
friend to stay out of it.
And
Tell
that
your
and it had
white
nothing to do
friend to stay
Girl,
out of
go
with your
go
white
find
friend.
your white
Jennifer,
husband,
Jennifer,
girl.
listen.
Go find him, girl,
You
Jennifer,
and tell
listen.
him
mad.
to
Listen.
stay out of
You're
black
mad.
people's
You're
business.
mad.
Jennifer,
You
don't say
are
Girl,
anything.
bye.
Jennifer,
you're mad.
Jennifer, don't say anything.
Bitch, don't get no
Because it has to
energy
do
over
with
here.
Jennifer
What
and
did you
white
say,
people.
so Deb?
It has nothing to do with any of that. It had to do with me.
Listen here. So Deb, let me clear something up. Jennifer is
Jennifer,
a messy ass bitch. This bitch is at
that's not
every
true.
black gathering.
So are you
Listen,
messy? Are you
when
messy?
black
Are you
people are
messy?
into
Are you
it,
messy?
this white bitch is there.
Are you
She's
messy,
amping
Tulsa?
shit up, and she
Tulsa,
sit
are you
back like
messy?
she's on now on motherfucking
Tulsa,
mute.
are you messy?
That's what white racists do. They
Tulsa,
sit
are you
back
messy?
and they provoke people to get
Tulsa,
them out
are
of
you
character.
messy? Tulsa, are you messy?
Girl,
Fuck
I
that
didn't even
bitch.
say nothing
Girl,
until the
fuck
Jennifer,
very
you.
end.
Girl,
Jennifer,
fuck
You are
you.
the problem.
Girl, you are the problem, you white ass honky. Fucking
Tulsa,
white
are you
honky.
messy? Tulsa, are you messy?
Listen here. I'm a
Are
queen.
you
I do
messy?
me.
Are you messy?
I do
I'm
me.
gonna drop you in a minute if you.
Am I racist? No.
I said, are you messy?
I'm going to excuse myself.
Are
Goodbye.
you messy? Okay. So I didn't want you to get into an argument with her. That's why I dropped you down.
Oh no, that's fine.
The reality is this: Tulsa is messy. Now she was good this entire time. I will give her that. She was good this entire time, and I enjoyed Tulsa this entire conversation. And I unblocked her because that's the reason why she was even up on this channel today. But the shit that just happened right now, this is why I don't fuck with Tulsa.
Exactly.
Because of this. Because you can't even have a conversation about real shit. The reality is that Tulsa is messy as fuck. And she cannot control the shit that she does. And when it comes down to it, she's a representation of me. And I'm about to drop you down because she's up here again. I don't want you here to argue. So I'm going to drop you down and bring her up.
Okay.
All right.
I just wanted to say this.
No, Tulsa.
I just want to say this respectfully because you had invited me over here.
I did invite
didn't
you. This is what I'm
want to
saying.
bring
So,
that shit
so
to you.
let me call before you start
Listen,
talking to me.
listen. You invited
Tulsa,
me up, so
Tulsa.
you invited me.
So what I'm saying, because Tulsa won't let me talk, I invited you here because I'm giving you a chance because we had a conversation about giving each other a chance. So what I'm not going to do is the argumentative things. I want to talk to you, but not in this space. If we're going to talk, let's talk and let's have a conversation. Jennifer is a good person. And you're not going to trash Jennifer, and I'm not going to let Jennifer trash you, or vice versa. And you ain't going to trash me. So I'm going to bring you back up here. But this stuff that's going on right now is not going to happen, Tulsa. And I'm not being. Oh well, she's gone. So I'm not doing it with Tulsa. I'm not. She got off. So we're good, Jennifer, and I you know that I'm never
Oh,
going to disrespect you on my platform
I
because
know we good.
that period, and that's all I can do. I'm not doing that with people because you've been a great friend to me, and that's period. Tulsa was amazing tonight. Like I cannot stress that enough. I enjoyed talking to her today, but when it comes down to this conversation, like she got to listen and not talk
But she
because
doesn't.
you talk so much that you can't hear.
That's exactly what she always does. And then whenever you try and
That's what's going to happen. Block her again, Deb, and never bring her up again. That's going to happen because unless she comes back up here and apologizes, and I mean this, she got time because I'm going to end this live in a minute. But if she does not come back up here and apologize, I'm done, and I will block her, and that will be it because I did that with that other lady, the drunk lady. I forgot
I
what
don't
her
know.
name is.
I don't know, but this is what I'm gonna say.
I'm
We
sorry.
were perfect.
I want to apologize to you because that wasn't right.
You don't need to apologize to me. You didn't do nothing. We
I know
came
I
up here
didn't,
and we
but
were having a
I don't
civil
want to subject you to
conversation.
I don't want to subject you to shit like that because it's not fair. Because she talks so much and she doesn't let people say anything. And literally, like I have her back all the time. If she goes to 82 channel and watches my conference with 82, I always have Tulsa's back. But she can't come over here and do this and then expect me to be like, oh, let her run amok on my channel. Like I'm not doing it.
Look, I had her back too. I defended her through a lot of things, and then she turned on me immediately just because I had a question about what she needed money for. That was the whole thing. And then she got mad, and then she started dragging me. Now I'm a racist. Now I'm a honky. Now I'm all these other things because she got mad about that. Anytime, whenever you did your interview on AT2, you
That's
were
what
trying to
everybody
talk to
does to
her.
me. They do that. They always do that to me.
You were trying to be respectful to her and talk to her.
Mhm.
And everything that you said, she said, you can't talk about that. That's a trigger for me.
Right. But
Well,
I've always had mad respect for Tulsa. Like nobody can say I've not have had respect for her, because if you ever watch anything that I've ever said about Tulsa, it's always mad respect for her. I stand for my trans women and my trans men. I
me
always
too.
so Tulsa can never say that, and that's why I'm like I'm trying to give her a chance to like even correct what she did tonight, because I know that she's not that bad of a person. But you got to give us something and not give us trash, because if you're gonna give us trash, then we're gonna look at you as trash,
Yep.
and that's period. Like that's the end of it. So I'm gonna stay on because I want her to come back and correct her bullshit. And if you can't do it, let me know and I'm done with it. Like, but if you can't, listen, I've given you multiple chances. The fact that even she came up, because I block everybody. And even when we had the conversation on Cub's channel, I unblocked her. That's why I seen her in my chat today and I brought her up on my channel. It was so good until she did this. So
And you even
I can
said to her, don't start anything.
I said that. I said that. I said that. So I cannot keep going around like making me a fool with Tulsa. Joshua said, Deb, she trolls on so many people's channels. This is why I told you not to let her up. And that's the thing. If people in my chat were saying, don't do it. But I still did it because I don't want Tulsa. I love trans people and I want her to like have a voice and I want people to respect her. But the fact that she can't do it is a problem for me. And she's doing it. It's not you. It's not me. It's nobody else. It's Tulsa. Like you got to give us the opportunity to respect trans people and understand the plight of trans people. But when you do what you're doing, it's hard to respect it.
Because you can never have a respectful conversation with her at all, ever. Because the only person's opinion that matters is hers. She does not want to let you talk. She will always turn it back around on you. And that's exactly what she does to everybody.
Church says, so Deb, she's not a respectable trans, though. She is not a good model. And I understand that, but I still give people the benefit of the doubt. And again, I just hope, I really hope that Tulsa gets it one day because she is a trans person. And there's so many things that people to go through as trans people that she understands that I want her to come on and be a representation of. Tulsa, whether y'all feel like she be lying about stuff or she doesn't, I don't even know. But what I do know is that the stuff that trans people go through, that she goes through those things. And I stand for those things. And I want her to speak about those things on my channel if she can come up here and be respectable about those things because it's real and it happens. But don't come over and be disrespectful, period. And Jennifer, give me like 3 seconds. I'm going to put you over my copy again. So I'm
Okay.
going to give you a few seconds.
Okay. Go ahead. So, as we all know, this is what happens every time whenever Tulsa comes up. She likes to come up and cause problems and start drama so that she can go back over to her channel and do a live and start talking about me. She'll probably talk about SoDeb. She'll probably talk about Levant. She'll probably talk about Q because nobody is ever the problem except for her in her mind. She is the problem. Okay. If those of you who know me, Chi-Town know me, Pam knows me, SoDeb knows me very well. I've never fallen out with any of y'all. I've not fallen out with Hear Her, whether you like her or not. I've never fallen out with Andrea. Never fallen out with Princess. I mean, no matter what you think, I don't be falling out with everybody. She does, though. So who is the problem? It's her. So Deb was very graceful um, to give her a chance to come up. But as usual, she does not want to hear anything that she does not want to hear. And so as soon as somebody says something to her that she doesn't like, then she goes off. And that's exactly what happened tonight. Because that's what happens with her every time she comes up on a panel.
Every time. And like, I don't care. Like, I have mad respect for Tulsa, and I will continue to have it. I understand that she goes through things. I understand that she doesn't trust people, and that's just me. Like, I can't help myself. I understand it, but when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, like, you can't be disrespectful on my channel, and I will never let nobody disrespect you, Jennifer, or anybody else that comes up on my channel, because it's not right. It's not right. I know she goes through things as a trans person. And
that doesn't give her the right to act the way that she does. We all go through things.
It doesn't. But I understand that she goes through those things, and I understand that she has trust issues. I understand that she doesn't trust people and all that stuff. But when you're in a safe space, like, be in a safe space, period. Because this wasn't the life for any of this stuff. I went along with it because Tulsa was really being a good person today. Like,
it's never going to end up well, though.
I enjoyed our conversation through this entire thing until she got here. It was like, were you drinking, then the drinks kicked in, and then you started acting a fool?
She's a fraud. She's a fraud. She's a troll. This is what she does.
Well, what I want to say is this: don't let Tulsa's interactions with us be your experience with trans people, because all trans people, I like Tulsa. I'm not talking about you, Jennifer. I'm talking about people that are in the chat.
Oh yeah, honey, I love trans women. Yeah, one of my best friends is a trans Black woman.
All trans people are not like Tulsa. They are very cool. They are very dope. Like, I have lots of trans people friends, and lots of trans women friends. Like, they are the most amazing people that I've ever met in my life. And this is why I always go out of my way to try to talk to Tulsa, because I know that she has it in her. But for her to keep doing this and it's embarrassing to me, because like, I keep giving you chances to do stuff and talk on my channel, and then you do this. Like, it's unfair.
This is who she is.
Shaitan said, never we talk our issues out and moved on. You apologize and have showed me nothing but respect. I think she's on you.
Yeah.
Yes, make it make sense, Joshua said. And she said, T.S. Madison and I are friends and have met several times. I absolutely love her. And I think that's the thing. It's like, we all know, a lot of us know trans people. Like, I know trans men and trans women. I always talk about me being an advocate of trans people because I work with a lot of trans people. Like I said, my co-host, he does a trans awards for the in Atlanta for the Pride. So I know about this stuff.
Yeah.
I would love for Tulsa to be there for some of that stuff, but I can't even do it because Tulsa makes an ass of herself every time.
Yep.
And it makes me sad because I want Tulsa to win.
Well, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So my advice is let it go.
And I'm gonna say this. I know people are not, and I hear Chi-Town go, so Deb, stop giving her moments. I'm gonna just say this, I'm always going to try when it comes to Tulsa because I respect my trans people. I understand the plight of trans people, and all of them are not like Tulsa, and I understand that. I don't know what Tulsa's been through her life, and I can't put a finger on it to say that this is something that I understand. What I can say is that I'm gonna support her, but maybe on the other side of the street, like I told AT2. I'm gonna stay on my side of the street, and I'm gonna let her stay on her side of the street because I want Tulsa to win. I really do, but she has to want to win for herself. She has to.
Well,
And
but she
even when we're
doesn't.
talking right now, like I'm looking at my backstage, like hoping that she keeps popping up in the back, and she's not because for whatever reason she wanted to cause commotion, and
Well, she's not because she went
makes me sad.
on her channel and is doing a live calling me a racist.
She's
That's what
live
she's
right
doing.
now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I don't even know that, and that's sad.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I
Yeah.
wish she would come back to this finish. Like, let's talk about it.
But that's not what her purpose was. Her purpose was to come up here, act nice for a few minutes, then start bullshit, and then go back over to her channel and play victim. That's what she does. She's always the victim.
Yeah. If her white
But
husband called her a racist word, she'd be upset. Well, y'all, I'm just say this, like, I'm probably gonna put her back on my block list, but I wish Tulsa the best, I really do. Because I understand the trans plight and things that go on with him. I don't understand Tulsa's at all. I don't.
mm-mm.
I don't know a person who see people who are trying to support them doing what she's doing.
I agree. And
And
you know
like
what I think we should
I
you know
have
what I think we
always
should do is I think we
even
should stop.
even but even
I
when I'm
think we
on H2's channel, like I'm almost like, I love Tulsa. Like I always say that. I'm like, I really like Tulsa. Like I want to support her, but I just don't know how to. And it's like when she does this, it's like, well, like what do you actually do? Because it's like she just self-sabotages herself.
she does. When I tell you I have stood up for her, I have windmilled for her, and she still does this same stuff to me. That's why I was
Every
just like,
time.
no, honey, it ain't never gonna be the same. Like, that's why I said, I'm up here to discuss LGBT issues and it's
Right.
calm. You know what I'm saying? And I think that at this point we should get back to your content, which was about the Dahmer
Jeffrey Dahmer, yes,
movie. And
absolutely.
that's what we need to be talking about now that she's gone and she shouldn't be back up here. So
Did you watch it?
I have not watched the Netflix show. I've watched
Oh yeah, you said it on
multiple
Sherrod's channel.
yeah, I've watched multiple documentaries.
Are you gonna watch it?
I You know what? I got rid of Netflix a long time ago. I just don't know that I want like some actors doing it. I'm kind of nerdy in the fact that I like documentaries better because they actually spoke to the people who were actually involved in it.
Mhm.
The woman who actually called the police to try and save the 14-year-old boy. And
Mhm.
even all these years later in that documentary that I watched, just the hurt and the pain that she felt and the guilt that she felt, even though it was not her guilt to feel, you know, those things are much more authentic to me than something that's kind of made out with actors, if that makes sense.
Right. I think that, watching it, like it was so informational to me. Like I wanted to understand his brain. I wanted to understand like why he was doing it. Like what were the things that were happening on the way. Like I told Sherelle, I watched it twice. I think I'm gonna watch it again as a matter of fact. Because I just want to I want to see if I see something that nobody else seen, or I want to see just what was going on in his brain. Like I want to understand that this the Virgo in me. Like I'm over analytic, so I want to understand things that I may not never understand it, but I watched the mother and the father. I feel like because of their going through their divorce was a lot for him. And I don't think that was something that caused him to start killing
No.
people. I think that was they ignored him enough for him to get away with it.
Yeah, I think that there were multiple things. I think that number one, some people are born with mental illness. I mean, he was
Yeah.
killing animals at a
But you
very,
know,
very young
but
age.
when he went to court, that they examined him. They were saying that he had no mental illness. There was a guy who was like he just got into the field, and the guy said he has mental illness. So those are the things I look at. It's like, you know, them diagnosing him. It's like people who are older were like, no, there's nothing wrong with him. But what was the other guy's name who was killing people before him? He got baptized, and then the guy they give him the death sentence. Remember his name?
Mm-mm.
Well, whatever the guy's name is, they examined his brain and they said that there was nothing wrong with it. But Jeffrey Dahmer's father didn't want them to examine his brain because he was saying they were going to say the same thing about Jeffrey Dahmer's brain, which might not have been true.
Are you
But
talking about Ted Bundy?
I don't know what he was the clown.
Um,
Oh, thank you, Romain Teachable, for becoming a member of the channel, and welcome to the tribe. Somebody in the chat.
John Wayne Gacy.
That's the guy who was a clown.
Yes, that was John Wayne Gacy.
So you know they injected him with his death penalty the day that Jeffrey Dahmer got baptized.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yes, it was crazy, but it was crazy because his father was trying to say they were trying to vindicate Jeffrey because they were saying he was mentally insane, and they were saying that he did worse things than Jeffrey Dahmer did.
No.
That's what his father was trying to give the attorney to. That was the case that they were trying to build.
His family were apologists. They did not want to hold him accountable. And I'm sorry, but his grandmother had to have known what he was doing in her house.
I don't blame his grandmother. I feel like she tried her hardest. Because I think that she was too old to understand. I think that's my personal opinion. I think that she didn't want him to be gay, which, you know, in that time, that's what it was. I think that his dad and his mother were the real issue. I think that his dad knew what he was, but he didn't want to accept it because it made him understand he was a bad parent. I think that his mother was just effed up in the head because of her medication. And that's why I don't blame his mom at all. Like, I don't give her any blame for any of this because she was mentally not able to be in the capacity to even handle it.
I think that it was a combination of multiple issues. I think that he was mentally ill. I think that it had to do a lot with his family upbringing. I think it also had to do a lot with homophobia and his
Well, who was homophobic towards him though, and his family?
Well, because I mean, even if we don't think that like our family is homophobic, society is homophobic. So
I
like
think his grandmother was homophobic.
Huh?
I think his grandmother was homophobic.
And that's possible. You know, I mean, even us as gay people, we're always worried like before we come out, like, is our family gonna disown us? Is this and you know, I really before I came out, like my mom's brother is gay. I have cousins who are gay. Like nobody would have cared. I mean, my real dad, you know, didn't like it. But as far as everyone else, I was like, oh, well, you know, I should have been able to think, oh, well, it wouldn't really matter. But to me, it was still terrifying, you know?
Right. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think that his mother and his father, like, watching this and listen and like watching all the stuff I've seen on YouTube, I don't think that they understood what was going on in his life. I really don't. This is my own personal opinion.
Oh, I don't think they did either. No.
I think that especially his mother, like, I don't think that she knew it all because she was so effed up in the head. Like, I would never blame her. I think that when she did come to was when she wanted them to examine his brain. And I think the father was so vindictive towards her that because he hated her so much that he went against that.
That could be.
I hate that part. I hate that part because I think in the best mental statement that she was in, that was the best place that she could have been in was, let's find out what was wrong with him. I feel so bad for him because I felt like he never really had a chance in life because nobody paid attention to him enough to understand what he was on his way to doing.
I
And
don't feel bad for him.
no, I'm saying this because even when he was doing it, they were in so much denial because they ignored him so much that they couldn't even acknowledge the fact that what he was doing. Because I know that his grandmother knew that there was dead bodies in her basement. I know that when he didn't want to open that box for his dad, he knew there was some dead something in that damn box.
Oh,
But,
absolutely.
but they were so convicted because they had let him down as a parent and as a grandparent that they were convicted. They couldn't even do shit. So what happened is that they put him in a space where he couldn't even be helped. So people always like, what about the parents? The parents and the grandparents failed this man so bad because, like, thinking about what happened on this movie and to know how realistic that it was, like, this nigga was not even vindictive. Like, he was like a so passive aggressive person where he could lure you in to liking him because the reality is that the guy who got away with this, I love talking about this part. So, because they kept saying this is about a gay thing. The last guy who got away with wasn't even gay. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's the conversation that I was trying to bring in with like talking about what trade is.
Right.
Because this guy, like, he basically was not gay, but he was willing to do something for a gay man in exchange for money.
Because he lost his job and he needed money. So
Yes.
he was going to take those things, but they never showed in the movie that he met that man at a mall with that guy with three other people because the guy walked them through a whole journey because they went to the liquor store and the boy's brother was at the liquor store,
Yes.
right? And so he talked to the brother, the guy, never thinking nothing else. So he went with Jeffrey Dahmer to the house. And then he said he got to the house and he said Jeffrey Dahmer was normal. He said he kept going in and out, but it was because of The Exorcist and it was another movie that he was watching. What, you know the other movie he was watching?
What?
I can't remember. I know it was The Exorcist or something else. But they talked about him wearing yellow contacts because the man on The Exorcist and somebody else in the other movie he was watching had yellow eyes. And so the guy was saying that he was watching that Jeffrey made him watch The Exorcist, and there were certain parts of the movie where Jeffrey started chanting stuff. He didn't know what Jeffrey was saying or what the chant was because it didn't make sense to him. He knew he was afraid of Jeffrey because Jeffrey had that machete by his ribs.
Oh.
And he was saying that he didn't know what to do. He just knew that he kept telling Jeffrey, like trying to convince Jeffrey that he was his friend and that he didn't have to do this. Because he was saying that, so when it first started happening, he was saying that they were sitting in Jeffrey's living room and Jeffrey was talking about his military background or whatever. And the guy was saying something about him like kind of getting disinterested or whatever. And so Jeffrey started talking about his fish tank, which was to his right. And so
Okay.
the guy started looking to the fish tank, and when he started looking to the fish tank, Jeffrey handcuffed him and pulled out the machete. And he said he put the machete to his ribs. And so he was like, he didn't know what to say, so he was basically trying to chalk Jeffrey down. Thank you, Chi-Town. Y'all, please show some love by likes and subscribe to this channel.
Hey, Chi-Town.
Chat, y'all. I'm giving y'all some good tea because I've been investigating this thing. I'm going to keep talking about it because it's important to me. But he said
Absolutely.
he said Jeffrey pulled that machete out and put it by his ribs. He said so at this point he realized that he had to like abide by what Jeffrey was doing because he didn't want to die.
Yeah.
And so he said that they were sitting in the living room at the time, and then Jeffrey made him go back to his bedroom. Now, watching the movie, when you go back to the bedroom, there's a big ass blood stain on the bed. But the guy was saying that he didn't know what the stain was. And he said it was a barrel, which in the movie, the guy asked Jeffrey what was the barrel of, and Jeffrey, I don't know what Jeffrey even told him what it was. But it was so many triggering things going on. He kept saying he told Jeffrey he'd go to the bathroom. And the first time that Jeffrey left go to the bathroom, he had the handcuffs on him, and he watched him go to the bathroom. He said Jeffrey never looked at his penis, and nothing like that. So I didn't think that Jeffrey was gay. Like it was nothing like that. So this is not a gay story. This is the predatory story.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. He was a gay man, but well, I don't want to say, but for him, it wasn't about sex. It was
It was about a
about,
predator. It was about a predator because if you know anything about somebody who's a predator, if you've been in the N word or you've been SA, you know it's not about the sex; it's about them being taking advantage of you.
yeah, it's about the power.
And the God, that's what he explained. It wasn't about about the sexuality. It was about the power over him because he talked about Jeffrey making him lay on the floor in the bedroom. And Jeffrey wanted to put his hands behind his back, and he kept talking Jeffrey into not putting his hands behind his back. Like y'all, if you haven't watched this on YouTube, like go and watch it. Like it's so interesting because he kept talking about how he laid on his back, but he turned on his side because he didn't want Jeffrey to put the other handcuff on him because he knew if he did, that it was over for him.
Yeah, and I mean, if you've watched like and you've went down like the rabbit hole, and I've watched multiple documentaries like before this ever came out, and it really wasn't to him about the sex, it was about the affection
Power.
and the power. He wanted somebody who would not leave him.
Right.
That's what it was about because he wanted to be, I mean, he was gay and he wanted to be close to a man. So that part of it,
Oh
is
yeah.
about
And
him being gay.
Sorrel asked you this on her channel, and you didn't know what this was about. It was Netflix trying to label this as the LGBTA plus community show, and you didn't know what she was talking about, right?
Well, no, I mean it's multiple facets. I mean, I think
No,
that
no,
it
no, no.
is about that.
Netflix labeled this as like an LGBT show.
Oh yeah, whenever they were hashtagging it and all that stuff.
Yes. And people were pissed off about it, which this is not that because if that's the case, why did they not label the Gabriel Fernandez show the same thing?
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is a true crime. This is not an LGBT thing because
Yes.
he wasn't just doing this to gay people.
Right, exactly. I mean, he was just a predator. I mean, the
It was a
14-year-old boy, he
predator,
did it to
period.
a child.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? It was just predatory.
right. And nobody wants this to be their label. So I understood what people were upset about that because it wasn't a gay story. There wasn't, and because if you label it an LGBT thing, it has to be like something where it was actually that, but that's not what was happening on that he was doing. He even said out of his mouth it wasn't geared towards anybody.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like I thought that it was weird because I'm like, yes, the majority of people that he did do this to was black, but he didn't unalive just black people.
Yeah, actually the first person that he unalived was a white man, was a white
Yes.
guy.
The family, the two boys that he did it with, they weren't black either.
Yeah, they were Laotian. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't just a black story. Now he did move into that black neighborhood where it was, and I also remember I also saw that on the show. Remember the guy that was in the building? Did you watch the show? You said you didn't watch it. So there was
Mm-mm.
a guy who lived in the building. And
Yeah,
I
I saw that in the documentary. Yeah. The guy that lived in the building. Yeah.
but that guy was never connected to Jeffrey Dahmer's unaliving him though.
Right.
And so, like I said, the reason why I watched it was because of Niecy Nash. I love Niecy Nash.
Yeah.
And when she told the story about this, and I cried when she told this because she talked about in the show when she had to talk to the parents of the 14-year-old boy when she called the police and they didn't believe her.
Oh,
And she told them that she said that she felt convicted. And it
yeah.
just made me so sad because it was like she really tried to help that boy. And the police led that boy back into unaliving himself.
Yes, they did.
I
There was a documentary on Hulu a few years ago,
Mhm.
and that woman was actually interviewed in the documentary, and she actually walked and was at the apartment building where it happened, where she and her mother lived at that point.
Mhm.
And she walked all along to show where she found the 14-year-old boy, where she was waiting for the police to come, where she was whenever the police came. And she was so still visibly traumatized by it.
See, I
It
didn't
was
see
almost
that.
like she felt a guilt that was not her guilt to feel, because she did everything right, but the police did not believe her. And
Right.
to me, it was because, number one, she was a black
She was
woman.
black, a woman. Yeah.
And number two, because they thought this was some gay stuff, so they didn't care about the gay thing either. But this was a child, a 14-year-old child.
Right.
And they were like, oh, it's a lover's quarrel. He was 14.
Because it was this white man saying that, and that's the thing.
Yes.
It was like they did not. It was like did not believe her, and that's the thing to me that made it. This is why I don't trust police, because I like, if what if this was me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
I don't trust them because they don't have no sympathy, they don't have no empathy, they don't care about us.
Yep.
And they would let this happen to somebody who is not even a black person. This is a brown person. So I know if they do it for a brown person, I'm automatically in a space where they will let it happen to me. I've been in spaces where I be want to talk about the fact that I have a DUI right now because because they made me plead guilty to a DUI because they said that I drove into a damn gas station. And I said, well, there's no dent in my car. They said there's debris in front of your car. I said, if I drove into a gas station, my car would be fucked up.
Yep.
But they would not believe. They was like, well, the judge is so mad. Well, why is the judge mad at me? I don't even know the fucking judge. But because of that, I knew that my fate was I'm going to jail because the judge is mad. And I don't even know the judge. I don't have any prior convictions. I don't have no bad reputation from anything else, but because the judge is mad, like I gotta plead guilty to some shit I ain't do.
And this comes
So I
back
don't sit in
to
jail. And
a conversation
the
of
justice
privilege,
system is
right?
so fucked up. And this is why I don't trust cops. I don't trust judges. I don't trust nobody in the place of the legal system because they don't give a fuck about black people, period.
And you are absolutely right.
And this show showed me this is why when we were on Sherelle's channel talking about it and people are mad about it, no, watch it so you can see how police don't give a fuck about black and brown people, period. They will
Yep.
let let a man who tried to murder you get away with it and not give a fuck. This man had a whole dead body laying by
Yep.
his bed, and they
By his
didn't
bed.
even walk in there because he was gay. Or they
Yep.
thought he was gay. I don't trust nobody who can do nothing like that.
And then also something I think that came into play at that point in time, this was the
And
late
even
80s
Jeffrey
or early
said,
90s.
I'm sorry, real quick. Even Jeffrey said, had they had walked to my bedroom, they would have seen this dead body beside my bed. So it ain't even no trick story shit. Like literally, they did not give a fuck about these people because they were black, brown, and black. And then because they were gay, like, ain't
Yep.
no way you want me to trust somebody who don't give a fuck about me like this.
And the other
It's
point that I
sad
was
and
going to
it's
make,
fucking traumatizing to somebody
yeah,
who has to trust you in this space of my life. And I can't do it. I can't trust you. I'd rather just risk my own fucking life and handle it myself. Because if I'm going to have my neighbor who is smelling dead bodies every damn day, who
yeah,
is reporting this shit, and you don't even want to come and investigate it.
yep,
And then when you do come, and this boy has a damn hole in his head, and there's blood dripping out of his head, and a white man can say, "Oh, this is my boyfriend. He gets drunk." Why does a drunk man have blood dripping out of his head? Like, why are you not investigating that?
yep.
It's
And and
it's
not even that they didn't just believe that black woman, but the black man who was the neighbor, who had said there's something really wrong here, like where there's these awful smells, and they still didn't do anything. And I think that not only Was it that they obviously don't care about Black people? They don't care about gay people. But at that point in time, you have to remember this was also in the midst of the AIDS epidemic.
Right.
And they did not want to have anything to do with gay men because they just assumed
Yeah.
that all gay men had AIDS.
AIDS. Yep. That's true. That's true. And so, but you want us to trust them to help us as Black and gay people? Like, absolutely not. I want to trust you with my fucking cat's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't trust you. And they
Mm-mm.
don't do anything. There's a guy here who was in Atlanta. I went to a club one night. This dude stole my cell phone. And I could not find my phone or I had a red cardigan. My cardigan was gone. My phone was in my cardigan. The dude went to the cops and told them that I stole his phone.
Oh my God.
This is a real story.
Is this a
So
white dude?
this is a Black guy. So they came and they patted me down. They couldn't find nothing on me. I said, you can't find it because he stole my shit. So they kicked me out of the club and they told me to go home. I said, I can't go home because I can't Uber home because the nigga has my phone. They bombarded me the entire night until they arrested me. And
Oh my God.
I was, and in my brain, I'm like, no, like you have to listen to what I'm saying. I would not sit down in this car. And so I literally, in my mind, was like, my life is in jeopardy right now. So I ended up sitting down in the car. My best friend walked out, and I really wanted to wait until he walked out so he knew where I was at. So I ended up going to jail. They put me on this table. It was like a doctor's office table. It was like some weird ass shit. I feel like it was trying to do experiments on me. And there was this lady who I no lie to you, she looked like my mother. And I cried. I was like, please help me get out of here. Like, I can't stay here. I don't know what's going on. I was like out of it. Like mentally, I cannot process what's going on. Eventually they let me go home, but it was fucked up to me. So later on, like a few months later, we had this thing in Atlanta called House in the Park. This guy who was the cop is a friend of my friend's.
Oh my God.
And he apologizes. I said, let me get the fuck away from me.
Right.
I said, I don't give a fuck if you apologize to me or not because it doesn't change the experience that I had that night. I never got charged for anything. They let me go home that night. I said, but the trauma of what I went through that night, you can never change that.
Yes.
I said, I literally was in danger. And y'all let the person who stole from me let y'all take me to fucking jail.
Did you get your shit back?
Don't talk to me. Don't have a conversation with my friends about me. Don't even think about me because you didn't give a fuck about me the night that you did the shit that you did. And don't keep apologizing because you know it was wrong. You were fucking wrong. And if that's the case, take it to your damn supervisor and then vindicate me.
Yeah.
But you won't do that because that jeopardizes your job.
And can I just tell you, even like as a gay man, but I'm a gay white man, can I just tell you like how different it is for you than it is for me, even? And like the privilege that I have just being white, still being a gay man. I got a DUI like whenever I was like in my 20s, right?
Mhm.
And I lived in St. Louis. I was totally ripped. Okay. I ran a red light and almost hit a cop car.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you know that they did not even impound my car?
Wow.
They took my keys to my car and parked it at a restaurant
Wow.
so that whenever I got out of jail the next morning, I could just go pick up my car.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. On my birthday, like 3 years ago, literally, Jennifer, the liquor store is like literally around like less than 3 minutes from my house. Somebody stole the stickers off the back of my car. So the cop I pulled up to the liquor store because I was going to the liquor store to give me some drinks to go celebrate my birthday. The cop pulled me over in the parking lot of the liquor store. He was
Because of
like,
your registration.
he was like, you don't have any stickers on the back of your car. I said, no, I have stickers on the back of my car. Because I don't know that they're not on the back of my car. So he was like, no, there's none. So he runs my stuff. He was like, oh yeah, they're still valid. He was like, I don't know what happened. So my insurance had lapsed that day. This nigga took my damn car to the pound. And
For insurance?
I said, listen, I was like, you can follow me back to my house. I will not drive my car. Just take me back to my house. I said, I did not know that my insurance had lapsed. I said, and I called and paid it in the parking lot. He said, because it was because I pulled you over when it lapsed, I have to impound the car. I said, I did not know that because I didn't know. I was like, it's my birthday. I wasn't even thinking about none of this shit. They took my car. I had to pay them $300 to get my car out of the pound. The dude, I'm like, I literally live like 2-3 minutes away from the fucking place I'm at. You could follow me back to my house. So I have no trust in cops at all.
And again, talking about me as a white person being privileged, whenever I got my DUI, my car had expired tags and I had no insurance at that point in time. This is whenever I was young. I was like a hot mess, you know what I'm saying? And my car had expired. My tags had been expired for over a year.
Wow.
I had no insurance. They did not impound my car. I did go to jail because I was drunk and almost hit them. But then I got out, like the next day. And then also because of my privilege, my uncle is gay.
Mm.
And his partner at that time, this is before gay marriage was legal and stuff. His partner was a lawyer, and I got out of almost everything except for the DUI. And I really got like I really got out of it easily. Like I had to pay it cost me about $500 to get my license back. Of course, this was a long time ago. And I had to go to 2 AA meetings or something. But I will tell you, I've never driven drunk since then. But look at the treatment that I got versus the treatment that you got. They impounded your car.
I had to go. I had to go through the class, and I had a DUI like when I first started driving because I was young in college or whatever, and I had a beer. My friends were drunk as fuck. They got kicked out of this bar, so I drove them home. They pulled me over in front and right in front, like I parked the car. They pulled me over in front of my friend's house and gave me a DUI. And I knew they were going to do it because at the time, I don't know if you know, I think it's called a Zoom. It's like an iPod, but it's like a Windows thing. But I had
Mm.
dropped it on the floor and I was trying to pick it up and I kind of swerved a little bit in the car. So they pulled me over right, like I parked the car. They pulled me over. They like maybe got the car, whatever. My friends had bottles, like open bottles in my trunk. And I didn't know that you could tell them that you can't check the car at the time. So I was like, because I didn't think that was wrong. I was like, yeah, you can check the car, nothing wrong with the car. So they got me with open containers and everything. And my friends didn't get in charge with I never fucked my friends after this day, but they charged me with everything from that day.
Why
And
would they? So the open containers were in your trunk,
in the trunk, yes. But
and they
because
gave you an open container
Uh,
ticket.
because I'm thinking nothing's wrong. Like I'm like, you can check the car. There's nothing in the car because I didn't know that you could not. I thought it was as long as it was in the trunk, you were okay.
It
So
should be.
uh,
Actually, it should be
I was
because
like,
it's not within your reach.
yeah. I was like, you could check the car. So I let them check everything in the car about the trunk, and it was like, oh yeah, open container in the car. So I had to
That's
go through that. I
bullshit.
had to go through the that class. It was like in a hotel for the full weekend. It was crazy because I worked for the magazine at the time. And I think Ray J was having the show The Love of Ray J. And that girl Danger that he was dating came to Ohio at the time, and I was supposed to be doing this whole thing with her, and I couldn't do it. And I was so mad. But I went to the thing, and they never even talked about drunk driving. It was about meth.
Meth.
The whole class was about crystal meth and people being on crystal meth. I'm like, I thought this was about drunk driving. It wasn't. They never even mentioned drunk driving or drinking and driving. It was about crystal meth the entire time.
Well, the gay community loves meth.
I wasn't even out at the time. Like I wasn't doing gay. I never did any gay thing at that time. So I didn't know I didn't know why I was there. 'Cause I'm like, "Oh, I do crystal meth. I don't know nothing about. I never even heard about this. And they literally made you sit through this entire weekend about learning about crystal meth. And I think there was one thing that we learned about drinking because they had the guy from City High. And oh, what's going on? Oh, Val, I miss you so much. What's going on? They had the guy from City High, which, if y'all remember, it's Wyclef John's group. Ryan something. He was on.
Yeah, the City High.
He was on Sister Act 2. He was the one who did Oh Happy Day, and he was married. Him and the other guy were fighting over the girl from City High, but he became an alcoholic because of her wanting to date the guy from Sister Act 2. And he was a nuisance. Like he was trashing his entire life over this. And that's the only thing that I ever seen about being an alcoholic. But he never drank and drove though. So I never learned anything about drinking and driving. And then I was embarrassed because my mom's friend came, and she was an instructor for one of the classes. And I was like, I don't do crystal meth, so I don't know I don't know why you like. I don't want to talk about this because I don't even know what crystal meth is. And she was like, oh, she's like, this. I was like, this is. I came for because I had a DUI, and she was like, oh, they brought us here because of drinking. Because of crystal meth. I was like, I don't know what crystal meth is.
Yeah, I was so clueless, like, about meth. Like, I didn't know that they called it Tina. And so, like, all of a sudden, like, people kept coming up to me at the club and they were like, have you seen
No,
Tina? Do you
listen.
know where I can find Tina? And I was like, who is Tina?
Oh,
Like,
Val,
I thought
listen, I had smoked weed so much before this had happened that I had stopped smoking weed because I had smoked so much that it scared me. So at the time when this happened, like I had been stopped smoking weed, so that it wasn't weed. This was based off of a DUI, but they were talking about crystal meth. Go ahead, Jennifer. I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, like, people were coming up to me at the bar, like, have you seen Tina? Do you know where I can find Tina? I thought Tina was like some straight girl that everybody hung out with that I didn't
I
know.
never knew what Tina was. I never knew what it was.
I didn't know until like a year and a half later, and they were like, no, that's not what Tina is. And I'm like, oh, well, how would I know what Tina is? That's
I
very
don't even
deep.
understand the connection of the name Tina.
Me
Do you
either.
know why they called it Tina?
Have no idea.
Yeah, I never understood the concept of the name Tina. Oh, Val said, OMG, Tina is my dirty name. I never understood why they connected Tina with crystal meth. Like, it never, to this day, I still don't know.
I mean, I'm assuming it was just a code name that they thought that people wouldn't know.
Mhm.
But I thought it was like some straight girl in the bar who everybody hung out with now. I was just like, oh, I don't know Tina. And I remember asking one of my friends, I was like, who is Tina? And they're like, I don't know. Who is Tina? Because the people who were doing Tina were like white people. And, most of my friends were black. And I was like, who is Tina? And they're like, I don't know who the fuck
It was the
Tina
people
is.
from Adam.
What?
It was the people from Adam.
Yes. You remember Adam for Adam? Yes.
Yes, that's still a thing now.
Do you
But
remember BGC chat?
I got caught from my mom. That's how I got caught from my mom from BGC.
The guy who does the Joanne the Scammer videos. Okay, well, you have to look him up. His name is Brandon, but back in the day, whenever he was on BGC chat, his name was Prada Boy, and you know how they like had the forums.
Yes, stories.
And we used to talk on the forums all the time.
Yeah.
And then whenever he came out and like started doing the Joanne the Scammer stuff, which is hilarious, like you'll have to go watch it. I was like, oh my God, that's Brandon. That's Prada Boy.
I didn't know that. I used to love reading the stories though.
Yeah, BGC chat was fun.
It was like the only place because you remember the you could do the chat lines too on the phone.
Yeah, I remember the chat lines.
And this is the reason why like I'm so grateful that I didn't meet Jeffrey Dahmer's, because I went on those things and like randomly met people. Because I remember I had sex with a guy in a van one time.
Let me just tell you, I met people like in the AOL chats.
Hmm.
I met a guy who actually
I did
flew
that
me
too.
out.
The AOL and the Yahoo chat.
Yes, I met a guy who actually flew me out to LA. Luckily, he was like a totally nice guy, was
Hmm.
awesome to me the whole time that I was there or whatever. But I
Hmm.
remember telling my mom, I was like, oh, well, I've been talking to this guy online. He's going to fly me out to LA. He lives out there. My mom's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, he's like really nice. But I mean, he could have been a killer. You never know.
Right.
But he, was a great
But
guy.
that's what
But
I'm saying. Like those things that we could have met Jeffrey Dahmer in those times. So, like we could have been a victim.
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
like even when this stuff started coming out, people were talking about like at Bulldogs here in Atlanta, like we could have all met a Jeffrey. We could have met Jeffrey Dahmer. That he would have ate for life at Bulldogs in Atlanta because we would let people get drunk there and we go home people all the time. Never
But yeah,
thinking
I mean,
this could have happened.
I think that's what you do, like, whenever you're younger. I don't even think
Yeah.
that's, like, specifically for gay
Yeah, as a
people.
30 or 40-year-old man, like probably not, but at that age, like we could have been a victim of Jeffrey Dahmer's.
Absolutely.
And it's just
Because, like I
scary to
said,
wonder.
whenever we were young like that, you just think you're invincible. Like, you just think, and plus you're, like, so horny, you're just like, "I'm gonna get laid one way or another," you know?
Or not even that you're just so horny, like maybe you just don't like you just like this is my opportunity because I don't have opportunity to like really engage in gay stuff. And so now I'm having it right now. I'm meeting somebody who wants to do it with me, like because it's so taboo, or you going to hell if you do it. Like it's just like this is my opportunity to do it.
Yeah, that's actually like before I was like really out to anybody, I had like started going to a gay bar. My roommates who were straight girls had actually before I moved in with them,
Mhm.
my best friend and I from high school were roommates, and but I hung out with these straight girls that I worked with, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the gay bar in the college town where we lived." And I
Mhm.
was like, why are we going there? And they're like, oh, we just want to go. They knew that I was gay, but I hadn't said anything to anybody. And so, like, we went, and there was this guy who was talking to me or whatever. Well, so then I started going back, and this guy, like, kept talking to me or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I was so young and naive. And I was just like, I was a virgin. And like, I just thought, it was going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to meet somebody that's going to be my boyfriend. I'm going to be with him forever, like
Mhm.
blah, 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 blah. And then it ended up in an SA situation. And
Mhm.
then, but I never told anybody. And I certainly wasn't going to call the cops because that would mean that my family would find out and my friends
Right.
would find out, and
Right.
I wasn't out to anybody. So just like Dahmer was predatory, like this guy was predatory too, because he had gotten to know me and knew that nobody knew about me. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
he used that against me.
So let me tell you this. So this has happened last year for me. I met this guy at this bar. He was a really cool guy. Like we hung out or whatever. I met him at the bar, and I ended up going home with him. It was really nice when I first met him, and he had just moved to Atlanta. He lived in the house with his brother. Him and his brother moved in the house together, and his this guy was like his best friend. Um, him and the brother were in the house together. The best friend was there all the time. So me and him, like we were kind of like, we were having sex or whatever. And the best friend would just walk in all the time. Like I'm thinking like this is like some normal shit. So I really didn't care. So whatever. The best friend would cook food for us all the time, like whatever. So I hung out with her like multiple times or whatever. And then I know why is everybody so quiet? Um, so I ended up hanging out with him like a lot more. And then after a few times, he started getting possessive over me. And I was not picking up on the signs at all. And so his brother was hosting like a karaoke night. And he lost his phone one night. And so I was like, well, let me just call your phone so we can find your phone. This boy thought that I was trying to talk to his brother.
Oh
And
Lord.
yes. And so he started telling me like he's the devil and he's going to curse me and he's going to sacrifice my life. And I mean, like I was so afraid.
Oh
And
my God.
so I played it off like to the hilt. Like I didn't know what to do, so I just played it off. And I realized that I had my stuff at his house, so I played it off. And literally, like when he went to sleep, I called my Uber and I got the fuck up out of there.
I know that's right.
Hey, what's going on, Chef Don Don? But
I'm gonna I'm gonna have to go check out Chef.
it was so scary to me because I didn't know, like, he was telling like he was going to like take my soul and shit.
That's really creepy. That is like some Jeffrey Dahmer type stuff. Like that's some creepy, like
Yeah,
weirdo stuff.
like literally, like I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know if I should go back to the house with him or what, but I was like, my stuff is at his house, and I wanted my shit that was at his house. I was like, if worse come to worse, I would just fight him because I've already been in a place where I've been taken advantage of. Like I would just take my anger off on that. But and then oh, and this and so we got back to the house. It was me, him. He has a straight friend, and the straight friend brought this girl back, and the guy the straight friend and the girl, they were having sex in the living room, and so he ended up working his way into having sex with the girl, and she felt violated.
Oh,
And that's when I was like, I got to get the fuck up out of here. Like this is not
yeah.
for me. Like I didn't know what to do. And like I see the guy, the friend all the time. Like he talks to me all the time. He's like, "Man, I'm so glad that you're not just like principal like this friend." And I said, I don't, I'm still confused to this day. And he was like, "Yeah," and like even not like now, like me and him, like we just talk a lot. But to me, like you are worth that girl.
Right, exactly. That's
And
exactly what it is.
why when he was doing like, I wish I could have helped her, but because he was telling me he was the devil and he wanted to like sacrifice my soul, like my Uber was on the way. I had to get out.
Oh gosh, that's so awful.
And this just happened to me last year.
There are so many weirdos out here. I'm just like, ugh.
That's why when
It,
I watched Jeffrey Dahmer, like I just want to know the mentality, like what made you get here? Like why did you start doing this? Like I understand that the father was y'all was like dissecting the animals, but like what made you change to humans? And you watch Don't Fuck with Cats and stuff like that. And
oh, that was so creepy.
but it's almost like he never really had the progressiveness of that. Like he always knew he wanted to kill people,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
and that's actually what they say. Like a lot of serial killers, like that's how they start out as.
Yeah,
They
with
start
animals.
with animals
Yeah,
and then they ended up, going to humans.
yeah. And I thought that was like really triggering because why didn't the science teacher when he asked to take that pig home think about that?
Good question.
Like there were so many signs of Jeffrey Dahmer, and nobody like got ahead of the game on him. Like they just let him do this. But it's the white privilege for me. Like it's like, why are y'all not taking advantage of hearing what he's saying?
And I feel like before the white privilege kicked in, it was the enabling from his parents because of whatever guilt that they had, you
Yeah.
know?
I don't even think it's the guilt that they had. I think it was like they didn't know because they were so focused on divorcing each other and they were so tumultuous from their relationship. I don't think that they understood what was going on with him because he was like the least of their worries. The fact that the mother left him in the house by himself for those many months and the father never showed up until the school called because he was drinking at school shows he was never a factor in their lives.
That is true. But again, I mean, I mean, for him to be doing that to animals at the age of 4, like they should have known right away, okay, there's something going on. Like this is not right.
One thing I would say as like I never really appreciated Oprah until this. Oprah grew the fuck out of his dad. And
And
I
he
remember
should have.
she asked him, and this was in the documentary, but when the father pulled whatever the bone was from whatever was underneath the house, when he said that the bones were like fiddlesticks, And Oprah was like, well, why would he call them fiddlesticks? And like, she grilled him about that. And she was like, you didn't see nothing wrong with that then? Like, and the father was like, no, because it wasn't like it was something that was obsessive. He just like hearing the noise of the bones clicking together. I'm like, that's traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
he thought the sounds of bones was a sign of like fun for him.
That
Roxy
ugh.
now said he had separation problems. It was more than that. It was more than that. It was more of the fact that he never really had parental advisory, period. The parents were in such a tumultuous relationship that he was a thing of the past for them.
They were more focused on
His
themselves than
his
they were on
father
their
his
children.
father admitted that he was afraid of Jeffrey.
Yeah.
So you know that it wasn't like this was some freak of an accident thing. If the father's afraid of him, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't care what he told Oprah or anybody else. If you are afraid of him, call the motherfucking cops, call the psych ward, call somebody, because if you are, as the father, are afraid of him, he needs help.
Yeah.
Don't get him help after he done murdered 17 people.
Now, off topic a little bit, but I wish that Oprah would have grilled Dr. Oz like
Mhm.
she did Jeffrey Dahmer's dad, so maybe he wouldn't be running for Senate. But that's another story for another day.
Yeah. I was shocked at the question that Oprah asked. Like, Oprah wasn't fucking around with him. She was on it. And the father, I don't think that he was prepared for the stuff that she was asking him.
He thought that it was going to be like more of like a
A sympathy thing for her, for his
yes,
son.
yes, exactly,
And
yeah,
Oprah was like, "You didn't know this nigga was murdering people. You were helping him like dissect animals and shit. Like that didn't cross you." Like Oprah grilled that man. Chi-Town said, "Wait, what did Dr. Oz do, Jennifer?"
he's running for Senate in Pennsylvania, and he is backed by Trump.
But what did he do
He,
before? Like, why should he run for that?
well, because he's a lunatic, like
Okay.
he's crazy,
Mm.
like super crazy, like he's totally like out there, like he's just one of those people who like at one point he was rational, and now he's just totally off the rails. Like he he believes in weird conspiracy theories and things that aren't real. It's creepy.
Mm. I just think that when it comes down to Jeffrey Dahmer's, like there was so many red flags. And I get it, like as a parent, like you don't want your kid to be looked at that way. But also, I gotta look at my kid that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I understand, like nobody wants to look at their kid as like a psychopath. But also, like, are you? If my kid is a psychopath, I need to like get this fixed. And I mean, he tried when they took him to jail the first time, but it's also a part of the justice system failing his son because he asked for him to get mental health consultation, and they didn't do it.
Yeah. I
And
mean, that,
I don't understand why when he realized that they didn't do it, why did he do that after he realized that they didn't do it?
I mean, and that's a failure of
The
both the mental
reality
health
is that it's
system
not
in
their
this country.
responsibility.
That's a failure of both the mental health system in this country as well as, you know, the judicial system in this country. The judicial system in this country, let me just tell you, okay, so, you know, I lived in Louisville. Um, what happened with Breonna Taylor? Now there are cops actually getting prosecuted by the feds for lying to even get the warrant that went to her house, that led them to her house. If there would not have been such public outrage and protests and everything, her boyfriend would probably be in jail
Mhm.
at this point in time. It is. absolutely ridiculous how the cops are. And I mean, that's only one thing that cops in Louisville have done. There's like Vice News documentaries about how Louisville cops, including one of the ones who was involved in Breonna Taylor's murder, had had allegedly stolen drugs and money from people that they arrested. Um, there are so many things that are so wrong with this judicial system. It is it, it's mind blowing.
Yes, and Rossi said he's from a different time. People didn't discuss mental health issues. And I understand that part, but I just think as a father, no, like trying to get a mental health, when you understood when he got out of jail that they didn't do it, why did you not get him mental health when he got out of jail? Like you knew he needed mental health consultation. Why did you not, like as a father, knowing that he needed this help, if they didn't do why he was in jail, why did you not when he got out of jail?
Do you think that at that time his family felt like, oh, if we do this and that makes it look like we're a failure as parents?
I
Because
think
I think that
I think that his father felt like a failure all the time because I feel like he thought that the mother was going to take care of him. When he realized that the mother left that boy in that house the entire time, he tried his hardest to like make a relationship with him, but he was afraid of him though.
yep.
And then I think that he also felt like it was like too late, like he didn't know. So I think he secretly tried to get him help when he went to jail, but he already had went to jail when you tried to get him help. So that means that you knew he needed help. So why not try to get him the help after he got out of jail? Like I don't care about the fact that you're afraid of him or whatever, because I mean, to be honest, if he was going to, he would have killed the grandmother.
Yep.
To be honest, because she wasn't fucking around with him like that.
Yep.
She was on his ass. She got rid of that mannequin and everything. So if he didn't do nothing to the grandmother, why not go? Why as a father? This is why. First of all, if he has, why would you put him in the house with your mother? That part I didn't understand. If you knew this boy was crazy, why would you put him in the house with your mother?
But I also feel like the grandmother knew that there was weird stuff going on too.
I know she knew that, but when he had already been through so many things where he couldn't handle him, but then you moved him to the house with your mom. To
The whole
me,
family was just
the
messed
father
up.
had. That's why I realized the father had mental issues because I'm gonna tell you right. If I have a child who is dissecting damn animals in my damn backyard, who has went to jail because he's SA'd a damn 14-year-old, I'm not putting you in the house with my mom.
Well,
I'm
that's
I'm
absolutely
not
that's
doing that
absolutely true.
because I don't know what you're gonna do to my mother. And if you kill my mom, I'm going to unalive you. I'm not gonna jeopardize my own damn life because of that. I never
Right.
understood why he moved into the house with the grandmother. Now,
I
luckily,
just do you feel like he was just pawned off from family member to family member because none
he
of them
was
really wanted to
he
deal
was
with
he
his
was
stuff?
he was definitely pawned off to other family members because how do you get to the grandmother? Like that doesn't make sense to me. How do you get to my fucking mom?
And so that was really
I
that's a
as
that's a failure.
a
That's a
father,
failure of
I
his
can't
entire
handle you.
family. That's a failure of his entire family. They're all to blame.
But Jennifer, as a father, I can't handle you. So I send you to my mom's house? Oh, absolutely not.
Right. That's a failure.
Absolutely not. If I can't handle you, I'm gonna. You wanted the death penalty. I'm just gonna give you that because I'm not sending to my mom's house. And
I
then
can't
he's
even imagine. Like my grandma and I were always like super, super close.
yeah, me,
And
mine
my
too.
grandma was always very supportive, like her only son was gay and I'm gay. My grandma, back in she's passed away now, but my grandma used to serve ice cream at Gay Pride. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like my grandma was always very supportive. Um
My grandmother marched for gay rights.
yeah, I cannot imagine either one of my parents or even my stepdad being like, oh, okay, well, you know what? You are really off. There is something wrong and dangerous about you. So we're going to go send you to live with your grandma. That would never, ever happen.
Ever. Ever. Especially knowing the danger that I could have put my grandmother or if it was my mother, my father, my parent in. It would never happen. And Rossi says, I promise you all times were different. I understand that, but I just could not. I would never. I know that times were different. I would never put my parent in jeopardy of my kid knowing what my kid is doing. I don't care if mentally I'm like in denial of what my kid is doing. The last thing I'm doing is putting this kid in my damn parents' house. And then my parent is smelling dead bodies in my house.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
And you're coming over here saying, let me check a box. You walked in the house, you smelled the damn dead bodies. Like, absolutely, like, you know what it smells like. His dad was an enabler.
I agree.
And I
Totally.
don't care what you painted looking like. You may not have known, but when you moved into my mom's house and she's smelling dead bodies, you are an enabler. When this boy went and show you what's inside of a fucking box, and you going downstairs and to break open the box, and it convinces you to look at it the next day, you're fucked up. Absolutely fucking not. You're in denial, and you're aiding and abetting him in the bullshit that he's doing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you do look at him and you look at his mannerism. He seemed like a very nice person.
A lot of mentally ill people seem like they're like really nice people.
Yes. And shout
How
out
do you
to
how do you think that most serial killers are like, a lot of serial killers, like, they are family men, the majority of them are men, and the majority of them are straight white men, and they have families, and nobody would ever guess it. You know what I'm saying? They go to church, they go to their kids' games, all of those things, but they are
But the
screwed up.
grandmother found that shrine of dead shit in that fucking closet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why was that not a red flag for y'all?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, there was too many passes for this man. Like, it was too many passes. He has a fucking mannequin laying underneath the covers in his bed. Why is this not a red flag for you? Where did he get the mannequin from? Why was that not a question? These people are so empathetic or not sympathetic to these white men who are terrorists, who are unaliving people all the time. And literally, they treat him like he was a regular person, taking him into the fucking jail cell.
Of course they did.
And I'm not going to lie to you, when I realized that black man had killed him, I wasn't upset about it.
Why?
Because I felt like he deserved a brutal death like the people that he killed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're saying how he died.
Yes.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I absolutely totally agree.
I wish that he would have tortured him a little bit longer than what he did.
Absolutely.
And the fact that he went into the jail and was traumatizing them with making the food that they were eating as the stuff that he did, because they were saying that he was making like the bones, like the dead bodies that he had already had created. I would have ended him a long time ago.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that they even allowed him to be in a population where he was able to be unalived so easily.
Me too. But I don't think that
Not that he didn't deserve it. I'm just saying,
I think that
now they put people.
I think that they wanted that
Yeah, I think so too.
because seeing how it happened when that cop left out of there, you know that they heard him kill that first person first.
Hmm.
So when he got to Jeffrey, they could have stopped that long time ago before it happened.
Yeah, I agree with the real estate insider.
Send their bad children to Mississippi to stay with their grandparents. It's not just white people. A lot of families look the other way. That's very true.
Yeah.
What's going on, Attitude? She says, "Hey, everyone in the chat, and Ma, and so Deb, and what's going on? What's going on, Lamar? He deserved it. He definitely deserved it." But yes, let's go back to this comment. It's not just white people. A lot of families look the other way. That's very true. And I can tell you that from my story, with my people who did it to who did things to me, like it took a long time for me to understand why I don't live in Ohio anymore.
I'm glad that you.
I don't know.
I'm not glad. I'm not glad that you're bringing this back up, but I did want to say something about this earlier, and then the whole thing went left. But my ex, who I was with for the longest, the guy who I had a relationship with for the longest time, he told me, because he was molested whenever he was a kid, and he was also threatened. But he told me that he almost didn't want to tell because for him, he liked it. And so he thought that he deserved it just because it was pleasurable to him. Because what the man did was pleasurable to him. And so he's now like in therapy and everything, but he blamed himself for a long time because he was like, if my body would not have reacted in the way that it did, then it would have been different. He thought that it was his fault,
So I'll tell you this: my cousin, well, one of my cousins who did it to me, told my mom that we had sex, that he didn't do that, that he didn't M-word me. We had sex, and I said, that's not what happened. I never wanted to have sex with you. You were literally like grinding on me at nighttime all the time, like literally trying to penetrate me, and I literally like held my asshole together because I didn't want you to do it. It wasn't until I got older, and I just like he was doing it so for so long that it just ended up happening. But you can't never say that I wanted it to happen, because if that was the case when we were doing the first time we were doing, I would let it happen. So, and I'll tell you, because I talk about it on YouTube, he's actually seen me talk about it on YouTube. He went the fuck off on me in a inbox, and I had to cuss him the fuck out and block him off of my shit, because I'm going to tell my story, and I don't give a fuck what you believe or what you think. I never wanted you to do anything to me. You were a fucking terrorist, and you did things to me that I never wanted to happen to me, because I didn't know, because I was a fucking kid. I didn't know.
Absolutely.
I don't care what happened to you as a kid. It doesn't matter. That doesn't give you the right to do it to me.
Absolutely.
But he believes in his mind that we just had sex, that he didn't M-word me.
That's just, ugh.
I'm like, if that was the case, why didn't we do it all the time? If I wanted it, why didn't I keep coming back and doing it? You're a fucking idiot. But in their brains, they build these stories up thinking that this is what it is. The reality is that you're a fucked up individual, and you can't fathom the fact that nobody wants you, because in his life now he lives a life of nobody wanting him, because he looks terrible, he smells terrible, and he looks like the trash and the scum of the earth, and he lives his life that way, and that's the life that you built.
It always comes back on them. Deb, I have to drop down because my phone's about to die, but I'm going to go back in the chat on my laptop, okay? Thank you for letting me up, and
No problem.
And you know I love you and appreciate you, so
absolutely.
I'm gonna I'm gonna drop down. I'll be in the chat.
All right, cool beans. Thank you for joining me. Asu said you can't control your body no matter how hard you try. It's a natural reflex, and that's very true. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that people that take advantage, if you try to take advantage of knowing that. But the reality is that you can't take advantage of somebody and then make them believe that they wanted what you wanted. You're a sick individual and you need to get help. And if you can't do that, then that's your problem. I don't know if Chef Don is in here, but I wanted to say this early on his chat that this is a lifelong journey that you go through, until you understand how to get over it. And the things that I did in my life to get over this was very detrimental for me because I didn't want to live my life as a victim. I live my life as somebody who got over being a victim. And so I went through years of counseling when this happened to me. And the greatest thing, and you guys can go back and watch my video I did with my story about why I love Faith Evans, was that I wrote a letter to my younger self. And I apologize to myself for letting me go through the things that I went through. Now, did I have control over it? No. But I don't think I would ever get an apology from the people who did things to me. So somebody has to make peace with that kid. And it was me. I made peace with that with me as my younger self. And I will never forget that day because I think I saw me as that kid. And that kid hugged me and thanked me and we cried together. And there was peace in that moment of reading that letter to my younger self out loud. And I encourage everybody who has been through anything that's traumatized them to write that letter to your younger self. Apologize to you for going through that because you might not have been in a space where you could protect you, but you are an adult now, and you can protect you now and give it to you because you're strong enough to do that. That was one of the greatest gifts I ever gave to myself. Emerald, oh, now that's the word. Absolutely, I'm telling you, that touched my soul. Listen. It wasn't your fault, no matter what. You were a child. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. It touched my soul. Let me tell you something. It touched my soul to read that letter out loud to myself. When I heard Chef Don talk about that stuff today, I wanted to hug that man today and tell him that it's okay and he's going to be okay. But um it's a self-healing situation. You're never going to get that from the person who did that. That's so strong of you. Tia, thank you for saying that. It's a self-healing moment. I told you I just wanted to hug him. Yes, real talk. I wished I hope he's still in here because I wanted to say that to him so bad. It's a self-healing moment. You will never get it from the people who've done things to you. It comes from you. You have to really heal your own damn self. And when you realize that, and when you take control over that, it's a very it's empowering. That's the best healing moment it is. I need to check out his channel. Check him out. It's Chef Don. Um, it's the most healing place that you can ever go to because I said I would do it every 20 years of my life. Next year I'll be 40 because I did it when I was 20. When I turn 40, I'm going to do another one because there's things I did in my 30s and in my 30s and in my 20s that I need to like go back and reconcile myself that I let myself go through. But that was the biggest thing that I ever went through in my life. When I apologized to the little boy that lived inside of me, who was traumatized, who was devastated, who could not move on. And I saw him visually in my own self. And that boy hugged me and he cried hugging me, hearing the apology that I gave him because I went through those things. I did that. I didn't tell anybody because I was afraid. I let myself go through that. And yes, I was young and I didn't know, but I'm responsible for those things. I let that little boy go through those things. But giving myself that apology, it changed my life. It changed my life. And I will never forget that day because I was sitting in New Jersey outside of a hotel. Me and my ex husband were there because he was preaching the next day. And I was writing this letter. And I remember because Faith Evans had this R&B Divas was out. And they did the R&B Divas album. And they had a song. Hold on. I think it's called Sister Friend. It's called Sister Friend. And I will never forget because the words were I'm stronger, I'm wiser. I'm stronger, wiser. Something hold on. What is the words? Oh, so beautiful to me, provider. Hold on. Because I remember it was Kiki Wyatt's verse that really had took me off. The chorus is you are stronger, wiser, also beautiful to me, provider, survivor. If ever you're in need, I'll lift you higher. Give you hope when you are tired. You can lean on me, my sister friend, because I understand my sister friend. That song it meant so much to me, y'all. Like I'm really trying not to cry now. Well, what is Kiki Wyatt's verse? I think this is it. Have you ever questioned yourself, feel like you were giving up, moving, stealth, losing trust? Is this Kiki Wyatt's verse? Well, this is your test, so hold on. This is Kiki Wyatt's verse. Is have you ever questioned yourself, which I did, felt you were giving up, moving, stealth, losing trust? Well, this is your test. So hold on and don't be distressed. But know you're still on your journey. Don't be discouraged. See, there are challenges, but you are stronger. You are wiser. Also beautiful to me, provider, survivor. If you're ever in need, I'll lift you higher. Give you hope when you are tired. You can lean on me, my sister friend. I will hold your hand, my sister friend. My sister friend, because I understand you're my sister friend. And when I read this, I was just thinking to myself, like, you're not my sister friend. This is me talking to me. It was like, but you are stronger, you're wiser, and you're also beautiful to me. You're a provider, survivor. If ever you're in need, I will lift you higher. Talking to my younger self. I'll give you hope when you are tired. And I remember the days that I was just tired. I was tired. I didn't want to be here. I did not want to be here. Because I never understood why I even deserved that. But I thought about me looking at my younger self as an adult and saying, you can lean on me. You can lean on me. And I just remember that kid like just hugging me and being like, thank you for freeing me. Thank you for freeing me from this because I've been holding on to this for over 20 years. I've held on to this and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to handle it. But I've been holding on to it. I've been so sad. I've been so depressed. And I don't know what to do with it. But you can lean on me as the adult me. It changed my life. It changed my life. But that gives you hope when you are tired. I can never even get through that part because I just knew about the tired part because I was tired. I was tired of being haunted by that. I was tired of being held down by that. I was tired of not being able to live my life because of that. I was tired. And there was nobody who had been through it. I haven't talked to anybody who had been through it, but I was tired. That little boy was tired. And when I looked him in his face and when he hugged me, I knew I had released that little boy from the stress of that. I will never forget that day. I'll never forget that day because I was free on that day. I was free on that day. And I always tell people, I'm like, I don't care what you've been through, you have to free yourself. The best thing I ever did in my life was write that letter to my younger self. That was the day I was free from what had happened to me. I didn't mean to start crying on y'all tonight. Uh, yes, I am free now, and I received that. You're not alone. We are here for you. Absolutely. God's at your my spirit. Let me tell you something. When God set my spirit free that day, I believed in that. It wasn't even a sad cry, it was a happy cry because I knew I was free. The people that took advantage of me, they could never come to me and make me feel any type of way after that, because God has set me free on that day. When I wrote that letter to my younger self, I freed myself. And I encourage anyone who's ever been through anything that has been traumatizing in their life to write that letter. Free yourself. Free yourself. It's a hard letter to write, but free yourself. Forget these other people who, because they will never apologize to you. They don't know how to. They don't, because they've probably been through it themselves. They don't know how to do it. And they can't take accountability for it. My cousin still believes to this day that we just had sex and I wanted it from him. And I never did. But that letter I wrote to that little boy, let me tell you, he has gone on and he's living his happy fucking life today because I made peace. Yes, okay, friend Tasia, free yourself. And that's some real shit. That little boy is free today because of me. And I encourage every person who has been through anything that has been traumatized. I don't care if you had a husband who has been beating on you. I don't care if you have lost a child. I don't care if you've been taken advantage of. You got to free yourself from the trauma that has been available in your life. We got stuff we got to go through in life, y'all. But let me tell you something. You have the opportunity to free yourself from that shit. I know. I really wish he was here because I wanted to say this on his channel today, but he was talking about it. This is why I'm even talking about it now, because of him. But I don't care what y'all have been through, y'all. If y'all never learn nothing else from me, if you don't trust me with nothing else, when it comes to trauma in your life, there are people that will never, never give you that peace. You got to give you your own damn self that peace. Okay? And for me, it was writing that letter to my younger self. And y'all can go to my video that I talk about how Faith Evans had saved my life. Because it was actually Beyonce and Faith Evans who saved my life. But I talk about it in that video. Watch that video. It saved my life. I came out to one of my aunts because of that. Because of the Fighting Temptations. Because I think the song said, I feel like I always fall short of being worthy, but he still loves me. And that's how I knew that God still loved me, because of that song. I knocked over and threw some stuff and fought a few people to free myself from my pain. And now I'm at peace. See, whatever it takes, like you have to give yourself peace when it comes down to things. That's why when it comes down to people with this Jeffrey Dahmer story, I'm gonna bring it back to what we were talking about. I want them to give them peace, their own self peace. That man took a lot from them. And the reality is that he's oblivious to what he even fucking did to them. But your peace comes from within. The earlier guests need to listen to this so she stops blaming her trauma on everyone else and stops acting out in harmful ways. Absolutely, very true. Not saying that was the right way, but nothing, when it comes down to your personal trauma, nothing will probably be the right way, but it's the right way for you. And when it comes to your own personal peace, you got to be selfish on that. You got to be selfish. It don't matter about nobody else. It matters about you. Whatever you need to do for you is fine. There's no wrong way. Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. There's no wrong way. When it comes down to you, it's your own personal peace. Don't let nobody beat you down about making peace for yourself. But I'm gonna tell you, like, I literally like even like I can't listen to Sister Friend ever because it takes me down. It makes me revisit my younger self every time I hear that song. Because I think that Faith Evans part was the first part. It says, "Ever felt broken into like you've been stepped on, hope's gone, all's wrong. You don't know what to do. Seems sometimes life can deal you a hard hand. But as long as you pay attention, you'll learn your lesson. Hold on and understand." And even that meant a lot. It was just walking me into Kiki Wyatt's verse. Because when I got there, I was just like I was done. Like I knew the piece that I needed from me. And I knew I would never get it from anybody else. And learning that I could get it from myself, it just changed my life. And I talk about it all the time, y'all, because it's so important for Black people because we go through so much trauma, even with our Black women not being accepted or understood by people because we dark skinned and we angry or we light skinned and we own everything and we don't and people don't and we can't even live in a society of other Black people because they feel like they're better than them. A lot of light skinned people don't even understand that because that's not even what they believe. Like there's so much that goes on in our community as Black people. And we just sit there, we eat it, we take it. And the reality is that we just want to be loved by each other. You know, the thing I be hearing is Faith Evans say, hold on and understand. Hold on and understand that you are stronger, you are wiser, also beautiful to me, provider, a survivor. Also, what is it? Whenever you're in need, I'll lift you higher, give you hope when you are tired. You can lean on me, my sister friend. People be thinking you so insensitive because they build narratives around you where they feel like you don't like Black women or you don't support these type of people. But don't nobody get disaffected by no damn song that don't give a damn about certain people. Jennifer says, you probably don't even know how much your story means to other young gay Black men like you. You may never know, but your story is important. And so it is your voice. It's not even about Black gay men. You know how many Black women who I've told this story to rebuttal that this happened to them? Like, it's not even that. Like, it's like the more you tell, and this is what I was trying to tell Chef Don Don in his chat the other day. Like, the more you tell the story, the more you realize that you're not by yourself. This has happened to so many people. What's going on, Carmel Apple? Praying for all Jesus is love. Be encouraged. Thank you so much for this. The more you tell this story, the more you will hear, oh, this happened to me. This ain't specific to just anybody. This happens to a lot of us. And we live with it. We embed it in our lives, and we let it eat us up on the inside, and we have horrible lives because we are so embedded in the fact that we let somebody take advantage of us. We don't have good relationships with other people. We are standoffish. We are, I mean, we go through so many things as people because we let what happened to us that's been traumatizing to us eat us alive. And it's unfair to us as individuals because we don't know any better. But the reality is, the more you talk about it, the more you realize you ain't even by yourself. This has happened to a lot of us. Yeah, I'm gonna log off because I didn't even mean to get here. I do encourage y'all to go to listen to that song, Sister Friend, though. It's on Faith. It's the R&B Divas album from Faith Evans. Um, it's one of my favorite songs because it just changed my life. If the person who sent me a link is still in the chat, please let me know. I don't click on links sent through the DMs for my own safety. Um, we are all hurting some kind of way. Absolutely, Caramel Apple. You're not alone. Got to talk about it. Amen. And I was saying that in Chef Don's chat today. I said the more you talk about it, the more it frees you. Right? We have to talk about these things. We can't keep holding it on. We're taught as Black people to sweep it under the rug. We don't tell our business side of the family, but we need to. We have to. The more you keep it in, the more that you don't talk about it, the more it hurts you. Don't self-sabotage yourself. I just came back. I'm praying for healing for all of us. God bless our pain for strength in others. Thank you, my big sis speaks. The more you keep it in, the more it's going to hurt you. Don't let your family let you sweep it under the rug. Talk about it. Let it out. Because the more you do, the more it's going to free you from the pain and the damn self-sabotaging that you're doing to yourself. Don't let nobody make you suffer in silence. Nobody. This is real. This is real life. And it's happening. And the longer that you suffer in silence, the more it's going to hurt you in life. Listen to Chef Don today. It let me understand the trauma that we go through in life and how we can't even focus or function because we're sitting around holding things in, protecting our abusers. Fuck them. Talk about it. Release it. Release yourself. Release yourself from that because you should never have to hold on to the trauma that somebody else gave you. Let them suffer through that. I'm getting off here. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I really enjoyed this. Again, I will say, I know people don't want to watch the Jeffrey Dahmer's documentary. Watch it so you can see how much that our justice system fails us as Black people. Fuck them. They don't care about us. And the fact that they let so many Black people die on their watch, and they were so mad about them losing their jobs, shows you how much they care about us versus their damn jobs. You gotta love yourself first and never feel in sentiment you're doing everything right. Absolutely, absolutely. I think that I said is inseminated is the right word. Well, I don't care about nobody else. I come first. And you should come first in your own life. You have to come first in your own life. You cannot be good to nobody else if you're not healthy for you. It breaks my heart that so many Black men who have been SA'd cannot speak because it's embarrassing, or nobody's going to believe them. That's why there's so much trauma and there's so much damage going on in our community, because people don't want to hear the real stuff when it comes down to that. There's men who have been SA'd by women, and that's supposed to be okay because now you a man, and that's not real. And it's still happening today. Look at the cops who lied and ended up being complicit in Breonna Taylor's murder at the hands of the police. Exactly. God sees everything and never feel intimidated. God does see everything, but he also gives you the tools to handle them while you're on this earth. Don't wait till you die to let him handle it. Handle it for yourself. And I'm not saying take revenge on the people who have done it to you, but take revenge and heal yourself. You're not going to get an apology all the time from your abusers, but what you can do is revenge yourself and take that upon yourself and make peace with your own self. I'm telling you, it means a lot and it helps. Don't sit in depression because what you've been through, because you're waiting on this person to give you some what is the word I'm trying to use? To vindicate you, or that's not even the word I'm trying to use. Give you closure. That's what it is, closure. Because you will never get closure from your abusers most of the time. The yoke that tries to attach itself to us as children so that we never see greatness is ourselves. Absolutely. Get your own damn closure. Thank you, Chi-Town. You are right. Therapy is a good thing. Get your own closure. And I'm telling you, if I ain't told y'all nothing else, if y'all never watch my channel again, that letter to your younger self when you are honest with yourself. And I'm talking about being brutally honest with yourself. What's the greatest thing I've ever done for myself was writing that letter and then reading it out loud to that kid that sat next to me, who lived inside of me, who was hurting all those years. And I hurt myself because of that. Write that letter and look at yourself in the mirror and read it. Own it. And it's not your fault, but you got to own that shit. It's not blaming you. It's about taking accountability about the fact that you let yourself go through those things, even though you had no opportunity to save yourself. You do now. You have the opportunity to do it now as an adult. Stop letting that kid suffer. Save him. Save her. Tell them, apologize to you, and live that life. It would change your life. It would change your life. God lives what's inside of you. And if you can't heal yourself, nobody else can. So Deba, for sure, no, you better. I love you because we sure do. Thank you so much for taking my MGC. Write that letter and be honest with yourself when you write it. Don't pussyfoot. Don't beat around the mulberry bush. Be honest. Write it and look in the mirror and read it to yourself. Apologize to your own damn self. It will change your life. Yes, hashtag write the letter. I think I'm gonna be on that for a minute. Write that letter. Love your damn self. Fuck these people. Love one another. Show them love always. Love yourself. Love yourself to apologize to you. I wasn't able to as a kid, but I'm able to as an adult to right my own wrongs. Had I been the adult that I was as a kid, I could have fixed those things, but I couldn't at that time, but I can now. Here's a virtual hug for you, so Deb, looking at it is difficult. I did an exercise similar to the other day, and I cried too for the little girl. I owe her the better version of me. Absolutely. You owe yourself the better version of you. And as an adult, you are the better version. You can protect yourself. Do it. So Deb, you can always call me if you just need to hear. I'm good. I don't even need that now. I'm telling you because of my therapy. I went through years of therapy, y'all. Like that's why a lot of things don't bother me and don't hurt me. It hurts me when I give myself to a friend who betrays me, but outside of that, a lot of things don't bother me because I've had to jump through the biggest hurdle of my life was apologizing to me as the kid who was M-worded. Ain't no bigger hurt than that. Okay? You can talk on me all you want to, but the real me know me. The real me have been through some things. The real me knows how to deal with me. There's some new things that I'm going through in life right now. Yes, I might need to give a friend. I may need to call a friend, but the old me has made peace with the new me has made peace with the old me, and I stand by that. And I encourage you, anybody who is listening to this, who has been through anything that's been traumatizing, write that letter or talk to you. Talk to that kid because that kid is waiting for that peace from you. I'm sorry that happened to you. Love, peace, and good health. Thank you so much, Caramel Apple. It would change your life. It would change your life. So was I, and I was the R word as well. I get it, but I was for this moment. Your hurt is being used today. Look at this. Yes, it's being used as a vessel for everyone else. I don't mind crying. I don't mind sharing my story because I know it's helping somebody. Because honestly, I don't talk about it that much. I did because I saw Chef Don Don's video today, and if y'all seen that video today, it was the saddest thing to watch to hear him talk about being in front of his abuser, and I thought to myself, I can be around my abusers now because they ain't shit. They don't affect me. They could never deal with a bitch like me. You don't the calling that God have on my life, they could never fuck with that. That's what I know about me because I've done the work. They walk around looking miserable to me. And they might be having the best life they think they have, they look miserable to me. And they always gonna look miserable until they get their shit fixed. Ain't nobody gonna take me down who have violated me. I cry for people who don't know that, who have not experienced the healing that I've had, who have not been through the work that I've went through. Because I hate that. I hate seeing my black men suffer through these things. But that's why I share my story all the time on purpose. I cry about it on purpose because I want people to know, understand. I've been through this, and I got through it, and you can too. What was the video again? It's the video. It said it's the video about Faith Evans. I think it says Faith Evans changed my life. Let me see if I can find it on here. I don't cry in tears of sadness. I cry in tears of joy because I remember my days going through these things and not knowing that I want to stay here. Mm-mm-mm. I can't believe I even got here tonight. I knew I was. I knew I was because of his video today, though. It touched my heart today. It touched my heart to hear him crying about it today because I just hated to hear it because I just know that so many people been through this, and we don't have nobody to talk to. We don't know the proper tools to get through it, and it hurt my heart to see that today. Oh, here we go. Um, I just posted the link to the video. The video is called "How Faith Evans Saved My Life." I encourage a lot of people to watch that video because that video it was near and dear to my heart. It was something that I really wanted to share, and I wish I would have had my vlog channel at the time because I would have did it on my vlog channel. But it's something that's very near and dear to my heart. Crying is self healing and it's okay. Absolutely, Caramel Apple. You had to go to the pit for absolutely, absolutely. I'm not black and I was never N-worded, so I can't understand those experiences. But as I said, if you need to just let loose, pick up the phone. I got your back. Absolutely. I got you. Understand. A lot of people haven't been through that, but I'm telling you, I share this story with everybody. I share with everyone because I know that Faith Evans, she saved my life. Beyonce, when she did Fighting Temptation, saved my life. I called my aunt when I heard that song, something about ain't good enough. Feels like I always feel sure of being worthy. Cause I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. I just remember the verse she said, I used to wake up some days, wish I stayed asleep. Cause I went to bed on top of the world. Today the world's on top of me. And I remember, I remember those days. Everybody got opinion. Ain't been in my position, and it breaks my heart when I hear what they have to say about me. I will never forget those words of that song. It changed my life. Because after that, she said, it feels like I always fall short of being worthy because I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. I ain't no superstar. The spotlight ain't shining on me because I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. I'm not perfect. Yes, I do wrong. I'm trying my best, but it ain't good enough. Shunned by the world if I can't succeed. But cause I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. I'll never forget those words. People be like, oh, he just loved Beyonce. I'm gonna tell you something. The lady saved my life. And then Faith Evans did with that song that I just told y'all about when it came with the sister friend. I'll bet you never thought you'd talk about it. I thought I would take the shame and the hurt to my grave, but no, God will get the victory. Because when she said something else in this song, it was like, if you ain't worthy, just raise your hand and let me know that you understand that we are so blessed to be loved. Stand for him or fall for anything. Because through his eyes we all look the same. What would we do without pain? We are not worthy. Something she said. I ain't good enough. I ain't good enough. I ain't no superstar, but I wanna be for you, Lord. I don't know, y'all, but the song changed my life. I'm just say that. Yeah, it's very beautiful. The song changed my life. I called my aunt and I was like, you know what? I'm gay and I know I might not be good enough for the church, but I know that God still loves me. I know I called my and I said that, and it just meant that to me. And then when I heard the Faith Evans song, um, it just spoke to me about the things, the brokenness of how I felt about me, and it just changed my life, y'all. I don't know. Looking at stories like Jeffrey Dahmer's and thinking about, what if he had someone in his life who could have just helped him? And, I just have compassion for stuff like that because his mother was taking pills while she was pregnant with him. His father was going, and his mother was going through a divorce, and they didn't give a fuck about him. Like, what if those things had changed? Would he been the same person? I think about those things because we don't have perfect lives. But the fact that God even still loves me through all those things, it just made me feel like important. It made me feel like I'm worthy and I'm worth living my life. I don't care what happened to me. It taught me lessons. It makes me be able to come on YouTube and share my story because somebody needs to hear this. And it encourages somebody to live life another day. It encourages somebody to get therapy or go to counseling and talk about these things because it's been beating them up for all their lives. It encourages me to keep telling my story for those things. So I'm never going to stop sharing my story. My cousin who did this to me for whatever reason, he came on my YouTube channel one day when I was telling this story, and he cussed me the fuck out. And you know what I told him? I said, "God bless you, and don't ever fucking talk to me again." And I blocked him from contacting me because you know what you did, and the fact that you had the audacity to contact me because you were a damn pedophile. Fuck you. Music done got me through a lot of stuff, and I love Faith, Mary J, Beyonce, Destiny Child, and most R&B most 90s R&B music. Absolutely. This dude had the audacity to inbox me on. I ain't talked to this man in years. The audacity to go off on me, and I didn't even read the whole thing because for what? You know what you are. Rotten hell by your fucking self. Okay? You sit over there thinking that you ain't did shit wrong because you in your brain you made up this story to make peace within your own mind about the shit that you did. The reality is that you are a pedophile and you should rot in hell. Predators always want to make themselves, you have the victim. That is how they operate. That is how they operate. Fuck him. And I wish there would be a day that he would try me because I'm gonna tell you right now, so Deb will be in jail because I will fucking I ain't gonna say that because don't come back to my YouTube channel and use this as evidence. But I'm just telling y'all, don't let there be the day that he tries to address me in real life. Either one of them. Live your life and keep on living it in the fake shit that you've been doing. But y'all, I'm getting off of here. I thank y'all for joining me tonight. I will talk to y'all again tomorrow. I'm gonna try to keep doing lives every day. Y'all go check out my videos I did about Coolio, and what was the other one that I did? Nene Leaks. I did 2 about Coolio and 1 about Nene Leaks. I know, like, when I do short videos, like, I don't get a lot of views because they're short videos. But please go check out those videos so I get the views from those, because it helps my channel. Good night, protect my energy. I was finally able to forgive if they did that to me. What happened to them? They live in miserable lives for me. Good night, so Deb. Thank you for letting me be a part of the conversation. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Jen, and you know I got your back for free 99. Never give up. What's going on, Tia? But y'all, please go. What they're like 15 minutes. They 5 minutes. Well, the Coolio, the last 2, the Coolio one and the Nene Legal one is 5 minutes. The first Coolio one I did is 15 minutes. But please go watch those videos so I get the views from those. It would be greatly appreciated. My channel is growing, but it's growing very slowly because I haven't been going live as much. But please check out those videos. Because people said to do shorter videos. And when I did them, like, nobody was watching. I guess I gotta do longer videos. I don't know. This one is like 3 hours. Everyone hit that like and subscribe and notification. Also comment then when this post. Good night. Yes, please comment in the comment section. I know you got my back too. We see each other. Okay. But yes, y'all, please, thank you. Protect my energy, like she said. Do that. Watch the ad, y'all. Like, I don't even add the extra ones anymore, but watch the ones that's in there because it helps my channel. Thank you, my big sis Speaks, for the super chat. Blessings to you. These also help as well as cash apps and Zelles. I never really ask for this stuff because I hate begging for money. But if you guys feel it in your heart to do it, I appreciate it. I'm getting off. I got to go to bed, y'all. But I love y'all so much for sticking around me today. It's only 25 people here, and it looks like we have what?
Should guys trim their balls?
We got we got 64 likes, so I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a beggar. I just want people who enjoy the content to be here. I don't want to force anybody to do it. But thank you guys for joining. I will see you guys tomorrow with something new. And tell a friend or two because it's good for you to join this live and subscribe. Turn notifications. Make sure you turn them on. Also, you notified when I go live. Like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section, give me the algorithm, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.